I'm sharp like a knife. Small time streamer, no fame, no crown, but my voice is my own, I won't back down. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, the truth that I bring. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my taste. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small town dreamer with a voice that's enough. Got a webcam flicker and a beat in my chest. Bass takes in my veins, spilling facts is my quest. I'm breaking the mold, no mainstream appeal. Just a kid with a dream and a heart made of steel. I sift through the data, the left and the right. No bias, no agenda, just seeking the light. They laugh at my setup, my low res stream, but my words cut deeper than the corporate screen. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, see the truth that I bring. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my taste. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough. I'm the spark in the dark, the glitch in the code. Carving my lane on this uncharted road. Million subs, no viral fame, but I'm owning the truth and I'm changing the game. I'll scream till my lungs give out, till the signal's dead. Every word that I speak is the blood that I bled. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough.
What the hell are you talking about, rim shots? What are you talking about? Yo, I just realized, hang on a second. I need to change this intermission screen real quick while I'm thinking about it. Because the last time we were streaming, somebody brought up the fact that all the flashing lights are a bit much. So, let's turn off loop. See if that stops now. It should come to a stop. Let's see, hang on a second. What a way to start the stream. There we go. No more blinding lights for anybody. It's boring, but it'll work. How are you guys doing? Monday. Happy Monday. And yes, leg warmers were hot. Not even joking. Rim shots like the drum thing? No, really? They call that a rim shot? I always just go make the noise, the ba-dum, tss, you know. In fact, I think I've got that somewhere. Do I have that? Oh, I do, but you won't hear it over the music, I don't think. Yeah. What's up, Lugia? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I mean, if the stream makes it till 11:30 before Streamlabs decides to crap out on me, I'll consider that a win. That's a rim shot sound? That's what they call that, rim shot? Huh. Apparently I made it almost 40 years before I realized that. Hey, Observer Eyes over on Kick. Not sure if anybody but a bot is over on Rumble. But Yeah. It's actually badum, but whatever. Anyways, guys, since I haven't told anybody to go buy some shit for a while, go buy some games if you need games over on Instant Gaming. Use my link down below. Puts a few pennies in my pocket. Much appreciated. A rim shot is something else. That's what I was, I don't want to go, like, way off into the weeds, way off into, like, really gross territory, but I was thinking rim shot was something else. I was thinking it was something entirely different. Another juice stream. Oh, yeah. Pirate's always a shill. Yeah, no, so the pirate software thing was something I was going to make a video about yesterday. And I don't know if anybody's even going to care. It's interesting to me. I find it fascinating because the man is a he's like the most narcissistic person on the planet. Shot means you shoot stuff at the rim. Yeah. Yeah, rim shot's a drum riff. Oh, rim shot. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. No, I didn't need to look it up. Unfortunately, my disgusting, depraved brain already knew. Is he out of the shower yet? Okay. Is he actually... Okay, I'm going to go say goodnight to my oldest kid. He was supposed to get a shower before I streamed, but I'm going to go say goodnight real quick. I'll be right back. You guys do get a chair stream for about 30 seconds. Guys, go to bed. Everyone good? All right, good night. Go to sleep. Chair stream. No, I told you guys get 2 chairs. You get my chair and my wife's chair. She has the nice chair. Chair has more charisma. Yeah, well, they're all going to bed, but my oldest kid decided to wait until 8:59 to go get a shower, and he's like, "I'll be out before you stream." I'm like, "No, you won't." Best moment of the stream. Hug your chubby cat, dude. I don't know where my cat is. So the little one, the little girl, she likes to sleep with my daughter until my daughter falls asleep, and then she goes and wanders around the house. The big boy is probably asleep on my bed. The dog is probably right next to him. Maximum effort. You're not lying. My wife definitely is maximum effort. It's not easy being self-employed, homeschooling kids, and keeping them all alive during the day. All right, guys. So let me go ahead and get this music killed. Hang on a second. Although I do like this song, but oh well. All right. We'll get the audio turned back up to a reasonable level. So let's get caught up on some funny stuff. Hang on. New DSP clip. I don't know if it's actually worth clipping and putting into the video archives on Streamlabs, but let me see here. What do we got? I actually haven't watched this one yet. Bad Bunny's awesome. Equilibrium, get the hell out. Yo, I need to get DB. Hey, DB Wild, what is your Rumble name? I need to mod you on Rumble at some point. I don't have to worry about it right now, but in general, I should probably have you modded over there. Says DSP drops the hammer on those making fun of his mustache. Apparently his mustache is crooked. God, what the hell is that? Oh, it's the same? Okay, I'll take a look at that in a minute then. What is going on with this facial hair? Oh my God. Okay. All right, let's play this. Let's see what this is about.
And by the way, everyone who's saying insulting things in chat, enjoy your bans. I don't know what the fuck's your problem. I'm talking, you stupid idiots. Either listen or fucking leave. Shut the fuck up over on Kick. You guys are obnoxious little brats. Jesus, you fucking... I swear, I'm sitting here to like, oh, let's make fun of his looks today on stream together. This is fun. Shut the fuck up. The king is talking, bitch. Shut up and listen or leave. I'm not going to listen to your little whiny shit. You're trying to be stupid and get attention. Shut the fuck up. Here's your crash out for the day. Eat my fucking ass. I'm talking, bitch.
Dude, okay, I'm so clipping that. I am so taking that clip, and we are putting that on the video archive here on my little stream deck here. Oh my God, that's so awesome. It sounds like Wings of Redemption. Look, it's flying around on his face. Yeah. Dude, oh my God. All right. That was totally worth... I actually hadn't watched that yet. That was totally worth waiting for. So I need to make sure I save that one. That is great. Oh, it is Black History Month. This is the funniest 60-second clip I've watched in a long time here. Some UFC interviewer, I have no idea who this is, but this is pretty hilarious. Sounds like a 2012 streamer crash out. Dude, honestly, if we could go back to those days, 2012, that'd be amazing. How he manages to stay around is baffling. Mahendra, well, you know the thing, Cage? I don't understand it. There are people who survive giving him money and getting entertainment out of watching him make an ass out of himself. I watch him make an ass out of himself for free. I couldn't possibly watch an actual stream. The only time I have watched DSP live, ever, a single time in my life, was when Asmongold was interviewing him. And even then, I didn't watch the entire thing. I finished the second half of it later on. What's with these people's obsession with eating? I don't know, man. But Pirate Software did the same thing. In fact, do I still have that on here? I might have taken the Pirate Software compilation off of here. Hang on a second. I did. I removed it. Damn. That's a shame. It's fear of having to find a job. No, but I think it's Black Hat. I think he's talking about, like, what is it with people? Like, why do people even give him attention? You know? For Pirate Software, it's 100% his lack of desire to have a job somewhere else, clearly. If he can pay his bills doing what he's doing, even being a lolcow, obviously it's better for him than working a real job. All right, so this one from Rothmus on Twitter says, Happy Black History Month. This one's pretty funny. I watched this one earlier.
It's Black History Month.
Good.
Do you have a message for your African brothers?
What? What?
Mind you, this is important to me because I'm black on Twitter right now.
It's Black History Month.
So what do you want me to say? Congratulations, happy Black History Month. That's around the message I have.
If you could be a pizza topping, what would you be?
Bacon.
And why?
Because it's the best. And because the vegans can't eat it. Or won't, so there's more for me. Or of me, because I'm the topping. If you could be a pizza topping, what would you be? Cilantro.
Why, because I'm Mexican?
Yes.
I'm not Mexican.
She's like Indian or something.
Oh. Well, happy Black History Month.
We need more of this. I swear to God, we need more of this these days. I can fix her. I identify as a black man, exactly. Dude, I watched this clip. I'm like, this is the best interaction I've ever seen. Two people who just zero shits to give. I love it. You know, we need more of this. Way more of this energy. I'm not a fan of these AI videos, not gonna lie. Like, sometimes you'll see them and they'll be pretty interesting. Most of the time, they're garbage. Stuttering Craig shared this one. He says, this is the reason AI exists. Not gonna lie, this one actually kind of speaks to me a little bit.
Is in the house. Find him over the barricade. He's a radical rat. Yeah, you're not the leads. Go to sleep, bitch. Go to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen.
I will say, as a child fan of April, this right here is very, very satisfying to see. How do you miss a bazooka at once? Yeah. Dude, they even had He-Man in there, okay? That's pretty cool. Secret of the Ooze villainized, yeah. Need to watch the... Dude, the old movies actually hold up pretty well. My kids watched them not too long ago. Remember when Power Rangers had a crossover episode with Ninja Turtles? I don't remember that. They gave you Uncanny Valley. Dude, AI is definitely... It's weird. It's freaky. We're getting better, but it's still in that in-between stage. This one I remember vaguely seeing back in the day. It says possibly one of the most iconic ARC clips of all time. Some of you guys have probably seen this one already.
Where's my crosshair at? Jordan. This water's not deep enough. You lied. Jordan, you lied. Jordan, you lied. Jordan, you lied, bitch. Nope, I'm in the water. I'm black. Damn it, this does not help at all. Where is he at? I don't know, shit. I ain't gonna go back up and see. There's no fucking way. I'm done. I know. No, Jordan, there's no. This is that bullshit. This is that black love. This is that non-black privilege. Nah, fuck that. Oh, that's a dog. Fuck. No, I'm gone. No. Missing a bandit. Jordan. No, I'm done. No. This. Fuck. Where's my cry?
Oh my god. Dude, this is literally me anytime I played Ark in the past. When the big dinos start chasing you, it is terrifying, man. Yeah, I hope they are. Dude, the thing, Black Cat, that has me worried is even if you look at Weta Workshops, like for example, Weta Workshops set the bar when it came to costumes, weaponry, armor for movies, for TV shows, that kind of stuff back in the day with Lord of the Rings. If you look at what Weta Workshops did 20 years ago for Lord of the Rings, the same company that made the armor and weapons for Rings of Power, it doesn't even look like the same quality. So yeah, unfortunately, costumes, makeup, that kind of shit, there's definitely something that's not getting handed down to the next generation, I'm afraid. Films using puppets tend to hold up better than any early CGI. Oh, for real, dude. Oblivion, that's my biggest problem with the prequel movies. Like Episode 1, Phantom Menace, when we get into this conversation about was it great, was it garbage, did we remember it wrongly, all this crap, my biggest problem with the effects was at the time I remember thinking to myself, this would be amazing if it was a video game, because for its time, for a video game, that would have been pretty incredible. But as a movie piggybacking off of Star Wars that heavily relied on puppets and, you know, like paintings and all that kind of stuff, the amount of green screen shit in the prequels for its time, it was too much, you know. Bought Ark Survival on Switch, it plays okay. Is Ark Survival the new one, or is the new one not... Which one's the one that's got the... What's his face? Vin Diesel in it. Is that the one that hasn't come out yet? I can't remember. Yeah, everything was handmade. And the thing is, dude, even in Rings of Power, the armor is still handmade. It's just the quality is just not there, dude. It's just not. It's sad. Oh, this is one. It's for all the fellas. Any of you single guys out there. Although she's engaged, so technically not even for you single guys, because she's not available. If you guys, I don't pay attention to the Olympics anymore. I used to love it when I was a kid. Winter Olympics was my favorite. Couldn't care less now. Like, as little interest in as most people had in the Super Bowl, I couldn't care less about the Olympics. But this is Jutta Leerdam, gold medalist for the Flying Dutchwoman, as they call her. Fun fact, apparently this is Jake Paul's fiance. Did not know that. Engaged to one of the Pauls. I know, man. I know. So if any of you guys feel like you can compete with Jake Paul for this chick, also that's her coach, I think, slapping her on the ass, so that's kind of weird. Like when they had the CGI characters in the original movies from the 70s and 80s, it kind of ruined those scenes. Yeah, dude, exactly. 100%? No, not 100%. We have a few women, a few of them. We got Piranha Pout, Empress, Mari. Who else? I don't know if Sonya ever drops in. She mods for like Hypnotic and stuff. She knows what she's doing. People said that Jack is cucked. Jack who? Oh, you mean Jake. Jake Paul. Maybe Patriot can, not that he'd want to. Right, exactly. Yeah, Lucia, I saw that. Hey, Geekazu. Oh, no, Oblivion. Oblivion, the Russian lady. Oh, my God. Dude, oh, guys, the lore on that one is fantastic. Hang on a second. I gotta say, you know, all the ogling and gooning aside, speed skating, those kind of athletes, it's one of my favorite things to watch back when Apollo Ono was still doing like the short track stuff. Really cool. Like it's one of the most, other than skiing and figure skating, the short track stuff from the Olympics is awesome. That's something I love watching the most. Show her. You saw her, man. What else is there to see, man? Eileen Gu is hot, but she's a mercenary whore. Well, the thing is, Mahendra, I agree with you, but at the same time, you got to remember that most athletes, I said this on Twitter, most Olympic athletes, they come from privileged households, at least in the West, at least in the US and other parts of like the West. So I don't think she actually needs Jake Paul's money. To have a life where you do nothing but train for the Olympics and have a chance at qualifying for the Olympics, most of those people I would say at least in the Western hemisphere, come from affluent families. Women's curling? No, what? No way. So Oblivion, before I get off track, Kira Kolyova, I can't remember, I think that was her username. She was a infiltrator. She had worked her way into Smash JT's channel. She worked her way into a few of the other guys' channels. She was essentially a double agent for the lefty hardcore Alyssa Mercante simps, basically trying her best to gain the trust of all the chuds to dig up dirt on them to send back to like Alyssa Mercante's, loyalists and all that kind of crap. Yeah. So actually, Hook, if you guys remember Hook, he hasn't been in the channel for a while. He messaged me on Discord last year at some point because she would pop into the channel once in a while, and I never modded her. I never really gave her too much to work with. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. She claims that she's some Russian. She talks in code about how she can't actually, I can't take Stalker 2 back into Russia because it's a Ukrainian game and I might get in trouble because I also fly military, blah, blah, blah. Like, the whole thing didn't add up, right? It was really weird. So Hook told me, he's like, dude, no, you gotta, he's like, be careful, man. Be very, very careful. So she should look for better human genetics. I don't know. Jake Paul might be a retard, but he's got pretty good genetics. Women's curling is great. It's one of the few times you can actually see women sweeping competitively. Oh my God. Okay, hang on. You just earned it, man. Where is it at? There we go. Lucia, there was this girl that went by, well, I think she was a girl. She was a channel mod for a few of the bigger channels. That was named Kira Kolyova, I think is what her username was. She's Dutch? Yeah, I think she's Dutch, Equilibrium. Canadians are gross. My wife's Canadian. Don't tell her I said that. Ouch. Yeah, Matt Adam, I used to enjoy watching the Olympics. The problem was that it just turns into this whole, we're all one world. And it's like, outside of the Olympics, everyone hates each other. Yeah, no, she was a spy, basically. You remember Kira? Yeah, exactly. She was, and there was still one guy, I can't remember who it was, that was like, I'm sure I can fix her. It's like, oh my God, dude, shut up. We don't even know if it's a woman. In fact, I was pretty sure it was a guy. Oh, man. Paul brothers have the worst genetics, both are the same. I'm talking physically, man. There's no arguing that Jake Paul could certainly beat the crap out of most of us, but I don't know. So Arc Raiders, this is going to be interesting to watch, is seemingly doubling down, or not doubling down, sorry. It seems like they're walking back their rhetoric on focusing on PvP, because they're introducing this new event that they're doing called the Shared Watch event. I don't know if you guys have heard about this or not. It says, you watch my back, I'll watch yours. That's how Speranza keeps sticking. Join your fellow Raiders in celebrating the Shared Watch. Team up with strangers, turn your barrels on the machines, earn rewards. Basically, what they are trying to do is incentivize PvE gameplay. Well, Equilibrium, it's fine to have PvE for the normies, but they need to not shy away from the fact that it is still an extraction game. I've already said before, Arc Raiders is in the sweet spot right now, especially with the way that they're putting the lobbies together, where even in a player-friendly lobby where you're not shooting each other, there's still the risk of somebody shooting you in the back. They need to not go too far away from that. I don't like it. Yeah, Cage, I'm at that point where I'm like, they've already done enough. I don't think they need to encourage any more, peacefulness between players. You can't keep saying the Ark is the enemy when it doesn't seem like it. So here's the little snippet I saw.
Hello, Raider. Want to team up? Watch out, Bastion.
It's not a mode specifically, Gikazu. So it's for 2 weeks. It's an event where I guess you get extra experience or points, or maybe it works towards like a new deck or something along those lines, where when you are attacking the Ark and playing peacefully, I guess it encourages you to work with another person. I don't think it's a specific game mode. Looks like that's just the new skins, man. Here's the thing. Arc Raiders does a wonderful job making their skins as ugly as possible, which helps a lot of us not even consider spending money on the shop. Yeah, so I think that they're just trying to incentivize people who want to play PvE to work with other players. And I get it. It's like if it's a PvE friendly, like a non-PvP lobby, and they want to encourage, people to actually work with each other. I always bring like a defibrillator with me if I'm playing solo, because most of the lobbies I end up in are pretty friendly. I've been knifed in the back a few times in PvE, in the solos lobbies. But, I'll try to bring a defibrillator in case somebody's downed. Yeah, in Cragfire, that's the thing, is that still is a reality of what can happen. That still happens in the game. Even if you go 20 matches without attacking a single player, and you think you're in friendly lobbies, you're still likely to get shot in the back at some point. Sometimes it really looks like a chick. Man, somebody was saying, can I just have a beard? I just want to have a beard in the game. Like, no, there's no good, like, cosmetic or face that has just, like, a regular-ass beard on it, Oh, looks like the first 76 commercial, Jolly Cooperation. Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Helldivers 2 update and Arc Raiders eats all of my time. Who gives an F about Call of Duty? Nobody, man. Or Borderlands 4. Yeah, no, dude, for real, nobody. I do see people online from time to time complaining about how, Arc Raiders doesn't have anything to do, and they'll be like, yeah, I leveled up my character in a week, and I have 5 million in inventory in 1 week's time, and you go, you need a freaking life, dude. Like, holy shit. In the apocalypse, everyone's clean shaven. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But I did see that Nexon, that owns Embark Studios, is apparently working with, who was it? Hang on, I gotta find this real quick. Before we move on to the real topics, I need to see if I can find this, because I don't think I bookmarked it. Let me see here. Blizzard reportedly partnering with Arc Raiders owner Nexon to revive StarCraft as a shooter. That's what this is. I don't have any feeling about this whatsoever because I didn't play StarCraft. But Blizzard, we're going to talk a lot about Blizzard tonight. There's actually more than just the whole Overwatch thing with the voice actress and all that. There's a lot of Blizzard stuff we're going to get into. We're using baseball and hockey uniforms for armor, but we have an infinite supply of razors. Exactly. Yeah. Thomas Mahler said he'd hire ex-Riot devs, like in Medieval Fantasy where all the women have makeup. Yeah, so that was about... let me see if I've got that in my bookmarks real quick here. Normally, I try to not have bookmarks on the screen because a lot of times it'll just be like, I've got like Epstein stuff, shit about denims. Here it is. So I've actually got that tweet right here. That was because there was a game called, let me go back a second. Let's pull this guy up here and we'll just grab this one. So I saw this from 2XKO. Apparently it's a game, it's a 2v2 fighting game from Riot Games. And I guess they just laid off a bunch of people. Update from Riot Games. After a lot of discussion, we are reducing the size of 2XKO team. We expanded from PC to console, saw consistent trends in how players were engaging. It's resonated with a passionate core audience. Dude, this sounds like Highguard's shit. Oh, there's a passionate core audience, but apparently it's an audience of term. We're going to dig in and make key improvements about the people behind the game, yada, yada, going forward. They're laying off people. That's essentially the long and the short of it, right? They're just laying people off. And so Thomas Mahler actually put out this post that said, yo, folks at Riot Games who got laid off, feel free to send us your resume. We're still looking for excellent talent to contribute to No Rest for the Wicked. But what I find strange is it's for a game that I'd never heard of. Audio clipped. Game's not interesting. We got microphone though, we're good. Maximilian was pushing the game hard, it looked like crap. Dude, people were doing shit like, okay, for example, we're going to talk about Pirate Software pushing Ashes of Creation later on in the stream here. But, the content creators, the people that were flown out to play Highguard, people get attached to a game for no other reason than their own personal satisfaction to like, oh, I'm going to make this game the next big thing. Why? Okay. Look, if Highguard played as well as Arc Raiders did, if it was as enjoyable as Apex Legends, if it was even as enjoyable as Warzone was back in the day, you can 100% bet that I would be saying, dude, play this game, it's great. It's not. If I had to sit down right now and play Arc Raiders or Titanfall 2 or Highguard, I'd play one of the other two. I wouldn't play Highguard. I already uninstalled Highguard from my computer. I played it for almost 4 hours. I have no desire to play it. None. There's no reason. There's no satisfaction in playing the game. It was really easy to be really good at it, and the gameplay loop got really boring really fast. So, again, a game has to have a reason to exist. It can't just have a small core player base. It's got to have a growing player base or a sustainable player base. So, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually had that bookmarked. But there you have it. That's kind of the situation with a lot of these big games that, I mean, guys, I'd never even heard of it. I'd never even heard of this game, man. Hey, welcome back to McDonald's. What about the game is woke trash? Is it the character designs or game's not interesting? 2XKO's art style is gross looking. Oh yeah, you know, Riot Games is woke as hell. Denims, yeah, she was going on about Emaru. I was gonna maybe talk about that tonight, but I don't know. 3.5 to 4 hours, Cage. Didn't like the StarCraft 2 was so fantasy looking like Warcraft. Well, we're going to get into that stuff too. There's a lot to do with Blizzard that we're going to talk about tonight. I didn't even know it existed, Craig. Honestly, I had no idea. Highguard, but Season 2 in rank mode, a new hero amount. How dare you? Oh, they look like crap. Looks like Overwatch characters, but even uglier. Dude, here's the thing about Overwatch, because we're going to get into that in a few minutes here. The thing about Overwatch is their characters were always ugly. You know, and then they did things like intentionally taking their already not attractive characters, like, who is it? Tracer, the one that's like the tall, gangly, lesbian-looking one, but at least she used to have an ass at one point. And then they made like Overwatch 2, and they completely like cut her ass off, if I'm remembering it correctly. Oh yeah, Cage. That's only part of the story we're going to get into, but yes, exactly, because it goes deeper than that. No pun intended. Lesbians don't like going deep. But yeah, so just like other games like we talked about, you can see articles like this trying to shill for games like Horizon Hunter's Gathering, which we talked about in the last stream, just like they tried to defend, you know, every game that has a fat woman or ugly characters and shit. This is from The Escapist from Olivia Richman. I'm sure there's no agenda here. Horizon Hunter's Gathering most definitely will suck, but it's not because of the obese woman in the trailer. No, I mean, there's probably other reasons too. But this lard ass right here is certainly. Imagine putting this in an article about a game and not thinking, oh my god, why am I defending this crap? Oh, excuse me. Going deep is what it's all about. Every black character has the same hairstyle. That does happen a lot. No, DB, we're not talking about denims today. Oh man. Escapist is very... Dude, it's one of those outlets that's always going to be pushing this shit, man. Man, I can't stand that cow on my screen. I actually insulted a noble animal. Sorry, cows. Yeah. I've had my fair share of L content where there's some depth being explored. Oh my god. You had to go there. You just freaking had to go there, ma'am. Ma'am. I just called you ma'am. What the hell, man? Woo. I meant to say man. Wow. Okay. Yeah, he went there, all right. It's ma'am. Exactly. In fighting games, you have female fighters wearing no armor, breasts jiggling all over the place in flimsy bras as they fight for their life or for their family's honor or whatever. Mini fighting games. What is with these people? Oh my god, this even brings up Honor. Okay, well, this is going to be a perfect segue when we get to the Blizzard stuff. I didn't even realize that this was in here. Oh my god, crazy. All right. So speaking of Highguard, we mentioned it previously. You can see from comicbook.com, Highguard's 5v5 mode still doesn't fix the game's biggest problem, the fact that it's boring. You can see here, obviously, player count. Guys, here's the crazy thing. Here is the crazy thing. This right here, 8,400 players, February 7th-ish. This is when that update dropped. I think this was the announcement of the second player, the ranked mode, or the second season, the new player that's coming. If you go like just look at this on the 1 month trend though, it's just like this is like someone who's dying in the hospital and it's just going beep beep and they're just eventually going to flatline. So the fact that they're still getting 5,000 to 8,000 players, 3,000 to 8,000 at any point, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Honestly, the game would be better off if it just die now instead of like slowly bleeding the last few hundred players they've got. Yeah, half naked fighting chicks equals bank. Who wants to play Soul Calibur without the jiggling, without the half naked women? Okay, seriously. God, I assumed his pronouns. Yeah. Don't get why you're getting relegated to all chat. Well, because Equilibrium's chatting on Kick. So when you see him pop up on the screen, it's because he's actually chatting on Kick. Yeah, never assume the pronouns. Pie burger game, exactly. You can't make money on that. No, you can't make money on that given the fact that you have to assume the majority of your players are going to play for free. A small percentage are going to spend a small amount of money on cosmetics, and an even smaller percentage are actually going to be the whales that spend $100 or more a month on cosmetics. Paying poor children in India to play Highguard. Well, they're not paying them very much because they don't have very many of them. So, I have never watched a Fleekazoid video, okay? I have never watched one. But given... Yeah, he's also on Rumble too. Although, I don't know, Rumble chat might not be popping up on the screen because Rumble's not integrated into Streamlabs. But you are seeing the Kick chat on the screen. Yeah, I know you guys have been talking about Fleekazoid for a long time. I've never watched it. This one's only like, I think, 6 minutes and 30 seconds long. So I figured we could all get a good laugh about Highguard before we get into the insanity that is the retards over at Blizzard with, of course, the voice actress and all that good stuff. So without further ado, this will be my first time watching a Fleekazoid video. I sent the Fable one. I saw that. If there was anything related to Fable tonight, I would watch that one instead. But I figured since we were going to be talking about Highguard and other PvP shooter games and that kind of stuff, this would be more pertinent. The Fable one's better? Oh, well, it's my first time. It'll be what it'll be, man. He's a crazy crack monkey. Okay, I have no idea what I'm getting myself into here then.
Last week, a truly horrible lore drop hit the world that completely changed the public's perception of the institutions we've come to respect. News so bad, Jay-Z had to flee the country. That's right, you know what I'm talking about. Highguard came out. Highguard is so bad, it made me jump out my window. Fortunately, I live on the first floor, so I walked back inside and uninstalled it. Then I left out my second floor window. From the people that made 2 dead games comes another dead game. It just goes to show the lack of creativity in this industry that 2 years after Concord's release, we're already remaking it. I'm not even done reviewing Concord 2 and Concord 3 just got announced. What the fuck? God damn, it's just one Concord after another. Oh, I can't wait for Horizon Zero Salads. Horizon Forbidden Treadmill coming soon. But enough of that Concord. We're talking about this Concord. The devs maintained radio silence before launch. They should have kept radio silence. Don't even drop the game. Just keep going and never look back.
You guys remember that? We were talking about, like, why don't they just cancel the game? Like, we all know it's gonna flop. We all know people are gonna hate it. Why don't you just cancel it, man? It'll be easier.
Games like the buzzing sound in Kingsman. I play it and I want to throw a shake weight at a hippie. People are complaining that many of the reviews were left by people with less than 2 hours. If you have more than 2 hours in this game, you are worse than a scooter rider. My favorite part about this whole thing was them calling it a new breed of shooter before announcing that it was every fucking shooter. Hey, here's a new breed of dog. It's called a golden retriever. Get the fuck out of here. Getting serious here, having 6 or 7 minutes into Highguard, I now have more playtime than 80% of the reviews. So speaking with that seniority, this game fucking sucks. Highguard is a generic game in a saturated market. Games can succeed in a saturated market, but the incumbent has to fuck up, and the other guy has to understand what hole he's filling. Fellas, Arc Raiders is Tarkov for VR chat players. Marvel Rivals is for people that are tired of looking at Overwatch porn. Highguard is a nothing...
Okay, before we get into the Overwatch stuff, explain to me. If Overwatch has such hideous characters, what's with all the Rule 34 Overwatch stuff? Hey, Serrano. Dude, Serrano, I'd never even heard. I didn't even know what 2XKO was, and now I'm finding out that they're shutting down, like, firing most of the developers and stuff. One of his weaker videos? Oh, damn. Well, I'll make sure to sub so I actually can catch up with some of his other ones. It's because at launch they had great models. Oh, okay. Dude, I was talking about it's all Widow and Tracer. Yeah, but Tracer, they massively downgraded. Am I remembering that wrong? That they removed her ass, right? Because she did have at least a decent looking ass before, and then they completely flattened it. It came before the uglification? Okay. Interesting. I do remember Widow. She's like the healer, like angelic looking character, right? She had cake and they nerfed it? Okay.
For no one. They say they made something we've never seen. I see it right there. And there, and
oh,
there,
sniper.
and there, and there. It's an arena shooter with resource gathering, team deathmatch,
Mercy,
battle
got it,
royale
okay.
looting, and Rainbow Six defense tactics, but all the prep time doesn't matter. This is like
I don't know, man. I don't play Overwatch.
Mixing it into a jar and drinking it. Why am I fighting 3 people on a map the size of Bulgaria? People say the new 5v5 mode fixes it.
He said Widow. He said Widow. Okay, not Widowmaker, just Widow. I didn't know what that stood for. I've never downloaded, never played Overwatch, never watched a minute of Overwatch gameplay in my entire life, okay?
Now I'm just worried we won't be able to fill
Not
out
even
a lobby
kidding.
in
Not
a few
even the
months.
Rule 34
My biggest
stuff.
gripe about this game is that it's boring. I don't want to play it anymore. If I had to take it from a kindergarten level to a 3rd grade level, they don't want me to shoot people in my hero shooter. There's big maps, few enemies,
Hey,
long
Burnham.
spawn times, long run times, long TTK, looting to get gear, farming to get good gear, waiting to capture the flag, waiting for the siege, waiting for Daw to get his badass over here. And if you think it's bad for you, imagine how your teammates are holding up. ADHD diagnoses are at all-time highs. Imagine if you were...
Wait, what did that say? No, this is not a fact. Fleek was going to look it up, but got distracted. Oh my god. Bulgaria mentioned Empress. Exactly, yeah. You have a clip I need to watch? Send it to me on Twitter. I'll try to grab it after I get done with this one.
Imagine if you were on the point in Overwatch and your teammate was off farming for a diamond fucking pickaxe. Well, you don't have to. That's Highguard. Before you say, get good, I'm going to get a better game. This new game called Overwatch just came out, and it looks pretty interesting. Much more promising than Overwatch 2. And you know what that game has? Heroes that actually play differently. And Rivals, Wolverine thrashes people with all 4 inches. Spider-Man goos people up. And Visigow claps them with a round rumpus. Here, we're all just dumpster divers looking for a less shitty gun. Okay, fine, you have a build.
Dude, it's such a small critique, but I absolutely hated the look of these chests on Highguard. Holy shit, like this gigantic over-the-top cartoony looking chest, and inside it's got one tiny little weapon. It's like, holy shit.
A shitty gun. Okay, fine, you have abilities, so I take that back. Every 5 minutes you get to remember who you're playing as, then you remember what they look like, and you get sad. Greek philosopher Janet Jackson once said, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Duh! I'm sorry, baby. I didn't realize what we had together. Developers these days have 2 modes. Boardroom approved and Lovecraftian horror. Overwatch characters were practically cartoons. Steroid Man.
Great ass!
Prestige Salad Dodger. You look at them, you get harder than Daw at an all-you-can-eat buffet. This is just Hero Shooter Avowed. Oh, there you are, Daw. Hey, I saw your mother the other day. I guess nothing runs in your family. You and your mama so fat, they had to put you in separate games.
Oh my
because
god.
you wouldn't fit in the same game. I'm sorry, just get out of here, you salad dodger. I'll catch up to you later. Shouldn't take long. Now all this can be forgiven if the gameplay was good, but is it? Hell no. The gunplay is impactless and the time to kill is longer than Avatar 3. But hey, maybe I'm getting too negative. Let me see if a Steam review can convince me to give the game another shot. This one looks insightful. Geoff Keighley slept with Miss Piggy so we could play this game. Thumbs up. Except most people can't play this game because the game can't fucking run. Even DSL 2.3 can't save this game's performance.
Okay, the one thing I will say, and I don't have a top-of-the-line computer. I have DDR4 RAM. I do have 64 gigs. That helps. But, like, my processor, my graphics card, nothing I have is that heavy-duty. I never had Highguard crash on me. I hardly had hardly had issues getting into a match. There were times where it would take, like, maybe 1 to 2 minutes to get into a match, which, to be fair, Arc Raiders takes, like, 10 seconds and you're in a match. Apex Legends, about the same. Even in games like Insurgency, I booted it up last night, played it for a minute. I got into lobbies pretty fast. So, yeah, it's an issue, but I don't know. I heard he porked her good. Oh my god. Yeah, Equilibrium. That's honestly one of the complaints a lot of people had, was the game was running really terribly. I never had problems with the way the game ran. The game ran fine, you know? That's like the only compliment I can give the game.
You got people crashing out of the tutorial. Just as a note to those playing,
Saints Row
if your
reboot,
game
oh my God.
crashes in the tutorial, here in Texas, we call that divine intervention. Take the money you would have spent on skins, throw a little bit of it into the plate on Sunday, then take what's left and go buy this big titty shirt for 10% off using code PIMP. I'm sick and tired of these premature babies. You shouldn't release a game if you need 2 more years to finish it. People say, oh,
A little
don't
bit of
say
both,
mean
DB
things
Wild.
about the game. Give them time. Let them cook. That's what the dev time was for. You had years to cook. Don't bring the chef out of the kitchen once the meal is on my table to finish sodomizing my beef lo mein. They're talking about fixing the game and bringing back the 100,000 players they got on launch. I hate to break it to you, but unless you can tweak this game into being Titanfall 3, you don't have a shot. This game was developed in secrecy. It should have been released in secrecy, and
Another thing people always like to point to, deflecting from criticism for Highguard, was if they made Titanfall 3, it would fail because people didn't show up for Titanfall 2, and it's like, no. People might not have showed up for Titanfall 2 at the time, but the impact that game has had because of people who played it, who then talked about it when playing Apex Legends and then went back and played Titanfall 2, I think Titanfall 3, now, given all of the goodwill and the history and the lore that's been established because of it, Titanfall 3 would probably be a massive success, like monumental success, provided they handled it properly. Titanfall has the name. Yeah, exactly. So people wouldn't watch Office Space 2 because Office Space didn't do well in theaters. Sequels are tough, you know. A lot of people, when Susano's in chat, he'll tell you sequels aren't supposed to do better than the first one, but a lot of times sequels do far better than the first one. It just depends, you know. DVD sales say otherwise, right? Exactly.
it should have died in secrecy, and I mean no respect to Jeff Keighley, but you did this. We all know Joff sacrificed Highguard to promote his appearance on the Monday
Terminator
show.
2, yeah.
He said,
No, they expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
So, Cage, I'm going to play devil's advocate again because people like to point to Arc Raiders and say Arc Raiders was launched between Battlefield and Call of Duty, and yet Arc Raiders still has 300,000 people concurrently playing it. So, I agree with you. I think Titanfall 2, probably given the fact that it was a less well-known title launching between those games, probably, I'm sure it hurt the sales and visibility, but there are times where it doesn't matter. Like Arc Raiders, you could have launched, you know, the most, let's say Halo was still in good standing with gamers, and you launched the next Halo game before Arc Raiders still would have crushed numbers, you know? And yeah, and Cage, I'm not saying that that's definitively like going to be the case with every game. It's just the argument that I've heard. So, Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty 4 Remastered did, plus the CSGO loot box update. It was effed not by the players, but by EA's expectations. So I guess in that situation, if they just learn to cater their expectations, and honestly, I wonder how many copies Titanfall 2 has sold now, years after its release, you know? Used to be sequels were expected as cheap, easy money, but nowadays sequels are more entirely looked at as franchises and want to keep Yeah, so Susano, that goes back to like the discussion about was Ghost of Yotei successful or not? Was Assassin's Creed Shadows successful? And without hard facts, I'm not even going to jump into those conversations. I look at it and go, did the games make money? Probably. Did they actually live up to the expectations or the hopes the studios had? Probably not. But until I've got actual hard data in front of me, I can't really make that determination. With how cheap it's been on sale, it has to be I have at least sold a ton of copies. Oh, dude, for real, I'm going to pick up 2 more copies of it because I've been trying to convince my kids to play it with me. Or, you know, by themselves with each other, because I'm like, dude, I've got Titanfall 2 on my computer. On the Xbox I have down here that has Game Pass, I could definitely do that. And then the Xbox I have in my other kid's room, I'm like, we could buy you a copy of it. You know, buy my son for his computer a copy of it. We could have 4 of us playing Titanfall 2, you know? We can say AC Shadows tanked Ubisoft, but Yotei performed mid. AC Shadows wasn't the only one. Star Wars Outlaws and freaking Skull and Bones, all 3 of those games coming out within the same year, or at least 12-month span of each other, is really what doomed Ubisoft for sure. Not to mention the original game is still being played at the time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Titanfall 1 was still a thing. I never played it, though. The one time I tried to play it was after that hacker took down the servers.
I know it, he knows it, he knows it, he knows it, he knows it, you know it, I know it, he knows it. I'd rather stare at this wall waiting for Neo 3 than keep playing this game. 9 out of 10 rage bait from Jelk Keegley. But Daw, you've eaten everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
Thanks to the flock of pimps for bankrolling this.
All right, that was pretty funny. If that wasn't even his best work, then I can't wait to see what other videos he's got. I need to go back and start watching some of them. Yeah, Ubisoft had a lot of bombs that dropped all around the same time, guys. They had a lot of shit. And I think this is good because this kind of takes us into what we're going to talk about with Blizzard, with Overwatch, with World of Warcraft, with a lot of what we've seen with the history of these different franchises, how they've tried to downplay certain aspects of them, change them to appease like modern standards and ideas of attractiveness and all that kind of shit. So it's actually a good segue into all this. That one was pretty weak, honestly. The Fable one's better. Should watch his Sniper Elite video. Dude, Sniper Elite, I've only ever played like Sniper Elite 5, I think it was. The one that came out recently, a year ago or whatever. I don't know. I played maybe 4 or 5 hours of it. I'm like, maybe if I'd have purchased it and I felt like I had a desire to play it more because I'm like, well, I bought the game, I should probably finish it. I would have gotten around to actually playing it. It wasn't doing anything for me. Again, not a big fan of third-person shooters. So for me, if I'm going to play a third-person shooter, it's really got to draw me in. Like Arc Raiders, I don't even care that it's third-person. I love the game. But typically, for shooters, if it's not first and foremost a first-person shooter, I don't know, something about it is off for me. Ubisoft should make For Honor 2. You know, Lugia, I wouldn't trust them at this point. For Honor is a game that I've probably put a lot more hours into than most other games that I purchased on Steam. That was back when I still played games on my Xbox. Loved For Honor. That was one of those games that I was like, I was hooked for a while. And that it takes a lot to get me hooked on a game. Yeah, Sniper didn't do it for me. Keep in mind, games are lagging behind culture, so we're hitting heavy woke games at the moment through, again, 2012, 2014, 2016. Once any game that started being talked about then, what we had earlier was a false alarm. It's a good thing I pay attention to what you guys are saying. Oh, all I was saying, though, is you're right, because a lot of the games that started in development 7 years ago, even being talked about, being developed, being worked on, are finally coming out. And so... yeah, no, Oblivion, it's just a quick unplug, replug it back in, and they were good for the stream. Once a stream. I pretty much always rely on it to drop out once a stream. Ooh. Undulating Ake QC74VT4VM on Twitch says, cheap viewers, streamboo.com. Remove the space. God. Twitch is ass, man. Now I don't mute myself, Cage. The computer decides to mute me. See the hands here? They're nowhere near this. That's how I mute myself. There's nothing else I do. Don't worry, it's all organic. Yeah, exactly. All right, so here we go. This is a good entrance into this topic because, my God, there are some insane people. Your PC's had enough. No, it's because of Windows, man. Freaking Windows. Okay, Overwatch. Brace yourself for the biggest hero drop in Overwatch history. Remind you, just so you guys are aware, Overwatch decided to drop the Overwatch 2 name. I guess they made that announcement this last week, and they're just calling it Overwatch. Why? I don't know. I've got no idea. Never played the game. Don't care. So, here is the little teaser trailer for anybody who gives a crap about Overwatch. Here you go. I mean, probably made in China. It's the Hyper Quadcast. It's not supposed to be a cheap microphone. So there's Overwatch and now Overwatch exactly. The cat I hate. Shoot that cat.
I am the Inferno.
What's up? You can't break free. Where are you going?
Domina has arrived.
Yeah, people do like this Domina character. I've seen a lot of positive like hype about her. Most people pointing out that she fairly, you know, she resembles the character off of Emma Frost, I think it is, off of Marvel Rivals. I don't know. One's white, one's brown. But I guess facial features, same kind of build or whatever. Those are under what? Dude, it's Overwatch. Like, I don't know what you expect. Tell me if Fat Cat Lady made the character without telling me. Yeah.
Got you covered. Good shot, right?
Enemies coming in hot. Can someone heal me? Damn it! Oh!
Disgraceful.
Rise from the ashes! Come on! Feeling warm yet?
Am I just too old? Am I just an old boomer at this point? Lady friend likes Overwatch, but she's buying Canadian. I look at this and go, I just don't give a shit. Pussification of Blizzard literally on screen. I mean, Equilibrium, you're not wrong, man.
To show someone how much you care.
I can't.
It's like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you.
Cat sucks. Thank you.
$20 worth.
The reason they made this hot character because of Marvel Rivals. They want to compete and win the Chinese fans.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Apparently, I don't know who said it. It might have been Savvy on Twitter, that they've dropped from 75,000 players at their peak at launch to around 25,000 players concurrently on the Steam side of Overwatch 2. So it could have to do with the fact that they realized that they're not having the appeal. And again, I want to be very clear. As somebody who I don't give a shit necessarily if a game has like beautiful characters or not, I want the characters to look the way they're supposed to look. First and foremost, they need to fit the environment. Secondly, if they're a man, they better look like a man. If they're a woman, they better look like a woman. Unless you have a reason for them to not, they better fit the game, better fit the environment. But, you know, there are games like Arc Raiders where all the characters are ugly. They're all horrible looking, but they fixed that by the fact that it doesn't matter what the characters look like. It's about the gameplay. The gameplay is fantastic. The experience is fantastic. Other games that are hero-based games where the characters are supposed to be heroic, they need to look heroic. And unfortunately for Overwatch, their characters, especially like this iteration, the entire cast that I've seen so far from Overwatch 2, not doing it for me. Thanks to the 5 Luigi, I appreciate it. It's just not competing with other games like Marvel Rivals, where Marvel Rivals doesn't mind leaning into the over-exaggerated, over-the-top male and female characters that are undeniably male and female, you know? Mist of Overwatch expansion? I have no idea. Chinese would eat the cat. We are old. Welcome home. Oh my god. Overwatch lost me year one. Their gameplay only got worse. When people say it was the beta, they're right. Sold it back to GameStop the next day in 2016. Oh my god. Legendary Drop says it too. God, this cat.
Such a bull.
You know what it is? Why people like this character, guys? First off, am I mistaken? Is she white or is she brown? But she does. She has that almost dommy mommy kind of vibe going on, and that's why people like her. I mean, her name is literally Domina, Dominate, Dominatrix. I mean, come on. But she's pink. So I've seen renditions of this character where she's either brown or white, and I think it's like interpretation based on who's doing the drawing. It's weird, man. I don't know.
Bull.
Too easy.
Who's your pretty kitty?
Screw that cat, man. Look, I love my cats. Borderline obsessed with my cats sometimes. They're awesome. They're orange cats. They're great. I don't want to play a cat in a freaking game. I don't want a cat with a jetpack playing with me on a game. They're trying to compete with the shark from Marvel Rivals. That's got to be what it is. Have to check, make sure the cats aren't there. Don't want to hurt their feelings. Beating other teams with unconventional teams. Overwatch last week, they forced me to not play as the character I wanted because there were too many already playing as that type of character. I mean, that's fair, but at the same time, a lot of games that focus on hero-based, characters and shit, that's the way it's going to be. I mean, Apex Legends, 99% of the time, unless there's a game mode like Wildcard where you can all play the same character, if your teammate picks the character, you can't play him. So you can end up with two, let's say team deathmatch, 2 teams of 3. You could end up with 2 of the same character on a team, but from 2 different squads. That's just the way most hero shooters work, QC, I'm just saying it's kind of the way most hero shooters work. It sucks. It's annoying. I get it. Everybody wants to play their character. But the solution to that is a game that has great characters, well-designed gameplay, good combat, and all those other things. Will have, okay, well, this character is not available. I can play my backup for this round and be satisfied. There are very few games that do that very, very well, where if there's a certain gameplay type you really enjoy with one character, you can then say, well, I'm fine playing this other character too. Especially with like specialized heroes and all that. Overwatch Season 1 Conquest, Reign of Talon. Talon being... Why don't they even have Talon on here? It was meant as an MMO shooter, Destiny. It's a downscaled project. Downscaled from the alleged Titan project that they had at Blizzard. Interesting. The dominant character is brown. She's Indian based on the character profile. That's why everyone's going crazy. If this was a white character, they'd be like... No, it's a new season for Overwatch 2. It's not a new game. As I understand it. I'm pretty sure this is just more of Overwatch 2. I could be wrong, guys. As I understand it, they're doing this like hierarchy change within Overwatch where one of the big baddies, he gets killed off by... Ironically, here's the funny thing. There's this black dude who's apparently in charge in Overwatch currently. He's got this like robot fist, and he gets killed by the chick with the big sword. During Black History Month, she kills the black guy who's in charge and replaces him, and her name's Talon, right? So, yeah, but now it's just Overwatch again. Exactly. No, so they dropped the 2. Now it's Overwatch. So now essentially because they rebranded, renamed, now it's Season 1 Overwatch 2, but just Overwatch. Looks so much like the people they have on the roster. Yeah. Don't give an F about Overwatch until they bring back the original Overwatch rules and progression system. Plus the PvE mode they lied about. Was there supposed to be PvE? Baddies. Oh my god. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the baddies voice lines from freaking Highguard. So I think most of you guys were here on Friday when we went over this article from The Gamer, from Jade King, talking about please stop babyfying your female characters. Okay. So we all laughed, had a good laugh about it, poked fun at the dude who thought he's a woman. Yo, Jade King updated the profile picture. Wow, he dropped the AI filter. Now it's just a dude with long hair. I mean, kudos to Jade, I guess, for living his true self. I don't know. Smeg with the 5 gifties. How you doing, buddy? Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the 5 gifted. That's why Overwatch 2 was made. The game director, Jeff Kaplan, went way over budget. He was fired and PvE plans were killed. I finally got one. You're like the dude on the... Oh my god, I'm gonna make you guys cringe, I'm sure. One of my favorite computer-generated animated films is Romeo and Juliet. I'm not even kidding. If you haven't seen it, don't judge me. It's pretty freaking hilarious. And there's this little gnome who's spends the whole time going, I got one, because he's got a fishing pole and stuff. It's a great movie. Shut up. Don't judge me. It's great. Watch the movie before you judge. Romeo and Juliet is awesome, okay? And you, keep in mind, I have kids. So the reason I first watched it was because I have kids. Yes, it's Romeo and Juliet with gnomes, okay? It's better than 90% of what you're going to find out there with Disney and Pixar and all that. Oh, no, Vernum, I'm not kidding. It is actually legitimately a funny as hell movie. It's great. I do actually. I do like K-pop Demon Hunters. I wouldn't sit down and watch it by myself, but no, it was good. It was way better than anything Disney's put out in probably 15 plus years now. No, I don't know that K-pop Demon Hunters really. I don't think they should do a sequel. I think it's kind of it's lightning in a bottle. I mean, between the music and the story and everything else, making a sequel is just going to be a bad idea. You know. I sound like Uwe Boll movie? What? Solid Good Kids movie? Yeah. Yeah, my oldest son hates K-pop Demon Hunters because he's 13. So he's like, oh, it's overhyped and the music's overplayed and I can't stand blah, blah. It's like, dude, shut up. Stop being 13 for a minute. Just look at it. Pretend you're a kid for a minute. Okay. Yeah, like Terminator 3 was a bad idea. Exactly. No, K-pop Demon Hunters was pretty good. So we had a good laugh, poked fun at Jade King for saying stop babyfying your characters simply because they took a character that had more harsh, unattractive, conventionally unattractive features and made the character look more attractive. Again, this is seemingly a sign that Overwatch is realizing, hey, wait a second, maybe we should start appealing to a bigger audience than just a small percentage of people online who want to play ugly characters in their hero shooter, okay? So this seemed to be a good thing, right? Watch The Princess Bride. Oh, God. No, dude, honestly, when he turns 15, I'm just done. I would be like, you know what? You can go live with your grandparents for a few years, man. Yeah, no, they haven't realized anything. They really haven't. That brings us to this weekend. I was going to make a video on this last night. I was so tired. I really wanted to make a video, guys. I was like, you know what? We've been cooking along. Mad Adam, I was thinking about you. No homo. Because, you know, it's been one of those things. I've been trying to keep the videos coming, trying to keep the live streams going, all of this stuff. And I'm like, this is one of those nights where I just didn't have any motivation. I had all my tabs open, but the brain wasn't firing, you know? Oh, my God. Feels like you thought about that possibility a lot. Dude, love my son. He gets easier the older he gets and more difficult to deal with the older he gets. It's a mixed bag, you know? Watched OG Poltergeist when I was 7. You know, Crackfire, the funny thing is, I didn't watch Poltergeist. That's terrifying. But when I was a kid, when I was 8 years old, I was watching, obviously edited by my parents, fast forwarding the VCR and all that. But I watched things like Rambo and Predator and all that stuff when I was a kid. Tango and Cash, all the 80s action movies, all the stuff that had boobies and heads being torn off and F-bombs and everything else. But, you know, edited for as much best you could, you know. The voice actor wants the design changed? Yeah. What does it matter what the voice actor wants? Well, because we live in a generation where despite the fact that a voice actor is seemingly, they'll tell you a voice actor has no impact. Here's the irony. We all know the name Erika Ishii, right? Erika Ishii, famously the voice actress of Atsu from Ghost of Yote, who actually, I can't find the video anymore. I can't remember where it was at. Talked about how flexible the writers were and open to changing things in interpretation and all that, right? Interesting. Also, you have to remember people that do the casting for voice actors also have agendas they push. Ironically, the person who did the voice casting for, God, I can't remember what the game was, but this gal did the voice casting for a few games where it was obvious. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. She worked under the gal that did the voice casting or the casting for The Witcher show, and the Witcher show being heavily diverse and everything else, right? So it's an agenda. It's something that they all behind the scenes are like, we need to push this diversity because we need more authentic and more representation in voice acting, right? More authentic acting when it comes to trans, LGBT, whatever. So enter people like Erika Ishii, you know, and we're constantly being told these people have no impact on the characters they play. They're just reading dialogue. And then we get to this story this weekend, and everybody's being, well, why shouldn't she have an impact on the character she's playing? Why shouldn't she have a say, right? Why shouldn't it matter what she says? Because you've literally been telling us for the last 5 years that voice actors have no impact on the characters they play. It's the craziest thing. People who cast have agendas. Dude, honestly, it's crazy. The more you go down those rabbit holes, it's insane, man. They should listen to the voice actress. She wants them all on the street. Yeah. Oh, appreciate that, Matt Adam. Thinking of you in the shower. No, I stopped showering. I'm doing the Asmongold approach. I'm just going to stop showering and I'll develop that outer skin, man. Who the F is Onron again? She's the new character for season 1 of Overwatch 2, not Overwatch 2, Overwatch 1, Overwatch not 2. Dude, honestly, it's the craziest thing, man. Yote turned down Karen Fukuhara from The Boys. Yeah, I can relate to that sentiment, Cage. I can't pronounce it, though. Wasn't it last year one of the company's voice actors for anime was changing their lines? We see this a lot with anime, with localizers. A lot of times you'll see this where they are altering dialogue, changing the localizers will do that, especially with writing scripts for the English voice actors, where it completely changes the context of something because they don't actually understand the cultural implications of what they're translating. That's where you Westerners love to F up your own IPs. Truth, you're not wrong, man. The Vishkar Mommy Emma Frost copy. No. It's this. Well, let me see if I have a picture of her here. God, these photos of these journalists are terrifying. That's holy shit. This one right here, this character. This is Onron, and the big hullabaloo. We'll bypass the article because there's more than enough to talk about, the voice actress's own video and everything else that ensues afterwards. The issue with this character is that in the trailer, she's got a more large, pronounced nose, smaller eyes, more masculine features, looks about 10 years older. She's supposed to be the older sibling of one of the characters that already exists. And when the trailer came out, the teaser trailer we just watched, she looks more like this. More baby-faced, that's what the gamer said, babyfied, but more feminine. Bigger eyes, softer features, smaller nose. Obviously still proportional, looks good, curvy, and all that kind of stuff, but athletic, but not manly, muscular, right? So that's kind of the situation where we are now. They took this character, looked at it, and said, this character would probably sell better if we made the character look more attractive, you know? Yeah, Gikazu basically. You know, that's kind of a problem if she's actually supposed to be older. I like the sharper eyes, and you could like the sharp. You can absolutely like the sharper eyes. That I don't even have a problem with. So, to be fair, to be clear, before we even get into the voice actress's video, if her main issue was you're taking a character who's supposed to be an older looking character, supposed to be more seasoned, hardy, let's say, just wiser, been around a little bit longer, not as fresh faced and young and innocent, if you will. That's fine. If that was her only complaint, I wouldn't care. The issue is the way that she approached this entire situation. So, this is Fariha. Says, I'm the voice of Onron in Overwatch. I held off on posting about this because I wanted to make sure I could do this discussion justice. Here's a shot at that. Let's keep rooting for the version of her that could be. I hope you have so much fun playing her. Now, right off the bat, guys. Okay? Right off the bat. I'm going to be honest. I have tattoos. My wife has tattoos. My wife is not inked up. She's got a couple small ones. Collarbone tattoo, nose ring, dyed hair, and a slit in the eyebrow. Tells me all I need to know about the kind of person this is. Okay? That's all that matters. Yes, I am judging a book by its cover because your visual representation of yourself is the first thing. You know what? I talked about this before with video games on Friday, that the characters you design are the first glimpse into the world you've created, that people have to first see with their eyes and then see the gameplay and then see if the story looks good and whether or not they want to invest their time in it. You know? All I heard was me, and oh, me, exactly. So that's the kind of person we're dealing with. All right. So here is her, the voice actress for this character, in her own words, okay?
And I voice Onron in Overwatch. 大家朋友们好，我是 Fariha， 我是安然的。
Also, the colored contacts, really? Author of Gachikuta? I don't even know what that is. Don't want to hear this. No worry, QC jerks. We can get you filled in as soon as it's over. Well, she's Chinese, but she's not Chinese. You only get one first chance to make a first impression. Exactly.
I'm gonna be so honest. I'm nervous about this video because I didn't want to not address the elephant in the room, but I didn't want to step on the devs' toes or speak on their behalf because it's this tightrope in my mind of trying to honor the community and everyone's criticisms because I agree, and also give grace to the developers because
whole video seems inauthentic. This is a actress. Forget about the fact that they only do voice characters. She's an actress, okay? If an actress or an actor seems inauthentic, it's because they play pretend. They make believe for a living. Essentially, their job is to lie. Their job is to trick you into thinking that they're authentically playing a character that's not them, you know?
they're always trying their best in the
Rose-tinted contacts, oh my
right?
god.
So I wanted to make sure that was there before I celebrated anything myself. So here goes. I got to mourn Anran between the design I had hoped for her and the design we ended up with.
She's not a developer. Went for the Vanilla Ice themed eyebrows. Oh my god. Dude, she's not a developer. She plays a character. And she's in mourning for the character that she plays, all right? When I say again, do not believe anybody who tells you voice actors, voice actresses, in video games especially, in all fiction, but pretty much video games, predominantly it seems, have a massive impact on the characters they play. Okay, either that they write the characters for these people specifically, or when they cast somebody, they might not have a concrete idea of what they want in mind, and then they they mold that character around the voice actor, actress, they, them, non-binary, whatever that person's proclivities are.
Because I think in her comic and the cinematic Elemental Kin, there was a precedent set by it. There was a...
Oh, Cragfire, she's not ugly. This is not a situation where somebody is physically unattractive. She has made herself... She has intentionally put all the warning flags, all the warning signs out there front and center. That's all this is.
A unspoken promise that said, we're going to challenge the beauty standards plaguing and ransacking media these days, right? The Ozempic chic, the contour your nose, you have no nose, the tiniest nose.
Okay, I'm going to try to unpack everything she just said really quickly because there's a lot there and it's retarded. Contouring your nose has nothing to do with Ozempic. Ozempic is for people who either physically can't lose weight or have other issues going on that cause them to take the medication, and weight loss is just a byproduct of that medication. There are reasons people take Ozempic and there are reasons they shouldn't take Ozempic, and I'm not your doctor. You take Ozempic if you need to take Ozempic. I don't give a shit. But it has nothing to do with people who contour their nose. This is the most retarded correlation between two things that have nothing to do with each other I've ever seen, and I hate makeup, okay? I despise makeup. I think most women wear 90%, like far too much makeup. Like they should be wearing 10% of what the makeup that they have on currently looks like. But again, then they couldn't, catfish guys. But that being said, when it comes down to it, making a character, whether it has to do with contouring the nose, whether it has to do with bigger eyes, less resting bitch face like somebody mentioned, there's nothing wrong with making a character more attractive, desirable, fuckable, like somebody said, Oh yeah, Ozempic chic while being thin herself. And this person, mind you, in her bio, is a personal trainer. And she's criticizing whatever Ozempic chic is. Oh, hey, I appreciate that, QC Jerks. I'll try to make sure that the gaps where we pause are longer than. Still, you know why is that stuck? Like I said, she's not ugly. It's not a matter of this person's hideous and yeah, you can tell they're making the character hideous. No, she might have some legitimate criticism of the character's design. That's fine. The problem is her approach. We want to challenge conventional beauty standards. Why the hell would you do that? What would be the point of that?
And I think because of that precedence, people feel understandably let down. Overwatch is a trailblazer at challenging that, right? Of trying to break those molds, of trying to explore the bounds of what it means to be good, what it looks like to be heroic. And I think the result we got says something else.
The result we got says something else. No sane voice actor. Exactly. Sucks to have your character change from the original design was the first time, huh? Brain is ugly and the woke mind virus is strong. Believe it or not, some of these people are fixable. Some of these people one day. Okay, guys, let's be fair. Let's be fair about something. Y'all remember that Disney star, whatever her name was, chick that she was kind of a weird looking little girl, blonde chick. And then she grew up and became a non-binary lesbian. She always painted her face and tried to act sexual on stage. And then she went on that reality show, and Mickey Rourke told her that she wouldn't be a lesbian by the time she left the show. And about 3 months later, she started dating this guy, and she dropped the entire lesbian, bisexual, face painting, butch, weird, non-binary persona. And now she is a happy, at least seemingly happy, normal looking woman in a relationship with a man, saying, I feel like I was brainwashed by these people to think I was something that I wasn't. And it's like, oh my God. Jojo Siwa, thank you. Yeah, if it can happen for her, it can happen for anybody. I'm going to be honest. I get black pilled from time to time too. But all they need is a social media ban. All they need to do is meet people in the real world. That's it. You're right. That's 100% it. She has a certain beauty to herself. People have likely told her that and it's gone to her head. She thinks she's hotter than she is. Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly, dude. Yeah.
It says something that leaves a bad taste in our mouths. It's not the bold, optimistic swing that we know Overwatch to make, and it's a look that isn't congruent with her personality.
Okay, she just said two entirely different things. Look that's not congruent to her personality, maybe a fair criticism, but you're looking for them to take a bold swing. What does that mean? This goes back to she's speaking out of both sides of her mouth. On one side, she's talking about legitimate criticisms of how they designed the character. It doesn't fit the personality, doesn't fit the story, doesn't fit the whatever. Okay, I'm down with all those criticisms. I 100%, I get it. You need to have the character make sense. Like I said before, not every character has to be like some sex goddess, okay? Characters need to make sense in the world that they exist in. But if your character is a hideous, monstrous, man beast that's supposed to be a woman, nobody wants to play that, right? Personality and looks are very different. True. Yeah, real world, leaving social media bubble. That's the cure? Yeah. In our mouth, speak only for yourself. Exactly. Yep. It's an urbanization issue. The little millions who act in... Dude, for real. That's why I say, even the liberal states... Look, I live in Washington. It's a blue state. It'll always be blue because we have mail-in ballots, and that's the safest, most secure way to not rig elections, right? Hint, hint, wink, wink. That being said, most of the state outside of the cities is a red state. And most of us in cities like the one I live in, even if someone's a Democrat, a Republican, a centrist, whatever they are, we all just kind of get along, People existing in the real world, we all just seemingly do our thing. It's not hard. But yeah, these people, they live in LA, they live in San Francisco, they live in Seattle, they live in, all these areas where they're just insulated from people who think otherwise to them. That's all it is.
Right? She looks like the younger sibling. She looks more docile. Somehow, as the fire hero, she looks more docile than the most
of the coast along the Sound. There are a lot of big cities in Washington that are kind of like Seattle, but there is also a lot of rural area too.
Designs and quietly bookmarking them. But I wanted you to hear that this concern is important. This is a hill worth dying on. It's worth speaking on, because I believe that the more we speak up about the things that truly matter to us, the more we'll see ourselves reflected in the world around us.
This person is not talking about the character not matching the trailer that she's in. You guys I'm sure you guys understand. You guys get it. The people who are arguing online that all she's talking about is making the character fit the role that she's supposed to play, that's not what she's talking about. Yeah, dude, for real, a DB Wild, exactly. Ma'am, you don't know the hole you're about to go down. If you show you bow to the mob, does it actually negatively affect your business? Yeah. Attack from the back when you least expect it. Dude, she's claiming that it only has to do with the fact that the character is not being portrayed authentically the way she's supposed to be. But the words she's saying doesn't match what the intention is behind it. Cowboy Bebop Netflix act. Oh, dude, that whole thing was crazy.
the more we'll see our values.
Our
in the world
values.
around us, right? And I want you to know that I shared all of this with the dev team. Not only that, I was encouraged to be as open and honest as possible, to not hold anything back. And it's my hope that this isn't for naught, right? That they see it, they hear it from you all too. And while it's not my position to decide what can be done and what gets done about this, I will keep championing for the version of her that we all wished for, right? And I want you to do the same with boldness, with kindness, and with hopium. Because Overwatch is not an exploration of what the world is. It's an exploration on what the world could be.
What does any of that have to do with a character looking a little too young or a little too soft or having too contoured of a nose? Explain this to me. This is my spirit type and my body died from cringe. She saw the Finnish girl who couldn't pronounce infuriated. Yes, but the Finnish girl who couldn't pronounce infuriated is a hardwood. Hardwood. Giggity. That's funny. And this chick in her current state is an absolute pass. Okay. Netflix CEO getting absolutely cooked? No, I've not seen that. But I like my new name, Yibo. Yeah, she's been hired to read lines, not change the game. I don't think Brianna White demanded change of Aerith when she voiced her. Dude, I don't remember hearing anything about Aerith, to be honest. No controversy there. At least not that I was aware of at the time. Oh, dude, it's so bad. And the thing is, because she's a voice actress, you can tell what she's doing with her voice. Speaking very softly, she's trying to appeal to your emotional side. The problem is when you stop and you get past that, you filter that shit out when you've been around long enough, and you just listen to the words she says, and you're like, what are you talking about? Nothing you're saying is conducive with the complaints, legitimate complaints, mind you, that she might have about the character. Voice actor speaks for a living, can't pronounce championing. That's what AI is for, man.
Right? So, much love if you made it all the way here to the end. I hope you have so much fun playing On Run. I know I am, but I'll see you out there.
Yeah, I'll have so much fun never playing Overwatch. I'm blocked now, by the way. I'm blocked. You can see she got 30,000 likes, though, 3 million views. She's verified, so she's making money on the platform from a Nazi. So a little bit of hypocriticism there. Hypocrisy. Is hypocriticism a word? It should be if it's not. All right. So even though I'm blocked, I can still go to her profile. Voice of On Run in Overwatch, actor, content creator, PT, personal trainer. Personal trainer, guys. This is somebody who works out for a living. I don't want to hear... She needs to be less attractive while we can glance at her bosoms. Not yet at BAFTA, exactly. I don't want to hear from somebody whose job is to get you in shape, make you healthier, make you, again, slimmer for a living, who also thinks that, you know, we should have less Ozempic chic and less conventional beauty standards. You're the person here who's supposed to, I assume she takes clients, you're supposed to make your clients more attractive. I mean, look, her profile, her banner picture is her freaking deltoids, right? Covered in tattoos, covered in ink. Okay, so my tattoo artist told me years ago that at some point you just cram too much shit in there and it makes everything confusing, so you're better off to leave some breathable space, you know, openings and stuff, which is why even though I've got like the Celtic knotwork, you know, you still leave open space and all that. This is a mess back here. This is, she probably does CrossFit. I've known women like this. This is a CrossFit body type, CrossFit tattoos. She totally does that. Get in the box. We're going to do CrossFit. Doesn't matter that we're all going to, throw our backs out and not be able to walk when we're 40. Empress is going to roast this chick if she goes to react the video. Probably. Yeah, leering. Always leering. Hypocritical, hypocrisy, and hypocrite are the only three I know. Hypocriticism should be a word. Don't you mispronounce things too, you're not cute enough. Dude, I am cute enough. Just don't look at my bald head. Don't look at my receding hairline. Can't fix her. My mind has changed. Good. Good. Yes, that Canadian... Matt Adam, you're putting too many syllables in there. It's Canadistan. Canadanistan. Holy crap, that's a mouthful, man. Hey, Susanna, we were talking about you. At least I mentioned you. Because we're looking at psychotic voice actresses. I know you'd have something to say about that. But yes, Canadian flag. So here's the funny thing, guys. Here's the funny thing. She is in Canada. So she started her video with that little shout out to all of her Chinese fans, simps, followers, comrades. I don't know. Probably a communist, right? And she lives in Canada. Always them Canadians, eh? So this account here, High King Fëanor, love this guy because he is like super based Lord of the Rings lore guy. Says, the only thing this woman should be doing is putting the fries in the bag. Our hobbies are not a place for your stupid activism, and the companies who have been hiring you are beginning to realize that you're losing them money. People like you are what killed Overwatch to begin with. Yeah. You think I'm adorbs? Oh, man. You'll ever notice how most CrossFit gyms are right next to some sort of donut? Look, I'm not going to argue with the results people get from CrossFit. I've known some really jacked, like monster CrossFit people in my day. But I've also talked to people who are like, yeah, no, CrossFit, that'll kill your body. It's the worst thing you can do. Muscle confusion's great and all that, especially if you're trying to get like muscle tone and definition and mass and all that. That's cool. But at the same time, CrossFit is, I mean, those people have a death wish, I swear to God. Her feed is also saying the character is going to be even hotter and cooler, like it's a good thing. This woman's all over the place. Simu Lau, a voice actress, yes. Okay, so you guys can just look at my home screen for a minute because it's revolving through whatever games I'm... Oh, that's a good one. All right. So I pulled these clips, these pictures, right? For my video that I didn't make last night. These are people who went through and did edits of the character, okay? So mind you, these are people on Twitter that took the character and fixed the character of Honor on the way she's supposed to be, okay? This right here is one of them. So left here, you've got more of the slanted eyes, right? I'd say a more slightly mature face, less of the comically round, googly eyes and all that. But the other thing you notice right away, upturn of the cheek here, the mouth is more of a welcoming, smiling look. Down here, downturned, bitch face, right? You like this one? The character, if she was not so resting bitch face, I would have no problem with the character on the left. Like I said, it's overrated. I don't think it's overrated, but it's also not my favorite in the series. You can still make the one on the left smile and be hot. There you go. There you go. She has that call your manager look. Exactly. So again, you can have legitimate criticisms of the character design. You can say the character design doesn't match what it should have been. Fair. 1,000 cock stare. The one over here, neither one of these is the original design. Okay. The original design is from a trailer, an animated trailer. Nobody had seen the character design in game yet, in actual game engine graphics. So this was the first, the one on the right was the first time we saw the character in game engine graphics. And people said, wait a second, she doesn't match the way the character's supposed to look. Her face in the game, or in the animated trailer was more like the one on the left, but the one on the left is the resting bitch face. All right. Let me see if I've got a screenshot from the animated trailer. I don't think I have it. All right, let me go digging online, see if I can find it. Hang on. Shouldn't take me more than a split second here. On-Ron, Overwatch, animated trailer. Oh, she would not pretty to look at, let me tell you. God, I have to go to freaking Reddit to see this. Ah, terrifying. Hang on. Here you go. Here was Anran in the trailer, in Wu Yang's trailer. Okay. Eyes were more tear-shaped, more oval. Nose was bigger. You can kind of see it here as well. I just woke up so I can only kind of see. No worries, Susano. QC. Oh, man. If you put a slight smile on the left one, it goes from resting bitch face to borderline seductive. Yes, exactly. But nobody wants that, man, because that's That's, you know, male gaze. Femboy vibe, I hate my brain. Yeah, them eyebrows. This was the character that people saw. Looks like a typical Asian boy. It's not attractive. Okay? So the one that we saw, the left and the right comparison, the one on the left still had some of these features. You could have passed it off as the same character, but it looked like a woman. The only problem was it had the resting bitch face. All right. Let me see if I've got a couple more of these. This one here. Oh God, this one's terrible. So you've got the original over here, right? Then you got this one over here. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but they beefcaked the hell out of her. If you look at the shoulders, down here leading into the bicep and all that, plus this face. Eyes are super weird, yeah. Part of it's the eyeshadow they put on it, but the eyes are drastically... Now, she is smiling, but it's smiling like you went to the Philippines and you found the only available ladyboy that was there, you know? Boobs are too high. Yeah. In this case, the original is better. Yeah. The voice actress is literally upset she doesn't look like her anymore. I don't know, because even the voice actress is better looking than what we're seeing. Like this one here, I don't care that she's smiling. I don't want her to smile at me. Go back. Give me the resting bitch face on this one. I don't want you looking at me seductively at all. Okay. Then let me see. Which one was this? This might just be the original. No, this one's terrible. This is another one I saw on Twitter. It still has the downturned lips. They're puffy, it looks like. And then these eyes are just awful. I don't know. Oh yeah, the actress looked like the drawing version. Maybe a little. It's also not a person, even though it's not. Yeah, it's signal odd for a female character. Yeah, exactly. Still okay with this over her eye. Fair enough. So far out of all these, I like the original more. Now, Crag, if they had that first one I showed you with a more pleasant look on her face, smiling, I think that could have been a winner. Oh, Cage, I'm sure you could, exactly. It's trying to be like the trailer. It's bad. Yeah. Looks like she just shat her shorts, but doesn't want to tell me. Well, the eyes were sad. This one here, this is just a picture I used for the thumbnail. Okay, I saved the best one for last, guys. Here is one that was like a artist sketch, not colored, not filled in. This is... Woo. So, this one here on the right, this is supposed to be an interpretation, I guess, of the original character. Not the original, the one that we saw in the trailer. It says it's a Kariko clone, toothpick compared to her younger brother, Blizzard Y. Then you get over here. Hooked nose like the cinematic, buffer than her brother, intimidating like the cinematic, and angular. Apparently, they just want to turn her into a dude. Not a woman on the left, exactly. Looks like a racist character, you're not wrong. Yeah. So, again, I had pulled up all these tweets. I saved these images to throw into my video at some point because I wasn't sure if I was going to screenshot the whole tweet or use these, and then I didn't make the video, so I don't have the tweets anymore, but these are what I found. The one on the left looks more like the one you described, trans. Yeah, it doesn't look like a woman, right? Does not look like a woman at all. So their only way that they look at this is it's either got to look, again, what they call immature, baby-faced, whatever, on the right, which is just gooner bait, apparently, because all men like to look at babified. This is the weird article from the gamer Jade King. Like, dude, I don't want to look at a woman who looks like she's under 18. I don't want to look at a woman who looks like she's under 25. So no, it's not about babifying it. It's about having youth and beauty and feminine grace and all that. How to be a strong woman, be a man. Exactly. The Overwatch character was promised to the LG HD TV plus 3,000 years ago. Exactly. Yeah, typical evil male character styling. Or this might be like a flamboyant evil male character, but again, still male. Undeniably male. Exactly. These people have never seen some grown women do have sometimes have a baby face. Yeah, but again, it's all in the terminology they use. They think it's intentionally making something baby faced to be like, oh, you guys are just sick because you think a woman's got to look like a baby, right? Old Man Grimm said, pure, unadulterated, narcissistic personality disorder combined with main character syndrome. You're a voice actress. That means you go in, record your lines, collect your paycheck, fucking leave. You're not part of the creative team. You're not at the head of the studio. You're not the official spokesperson for some sort of advocacy group. You are literally paid to read the lines you are given. Jesus, these deranged, identity-obsessed freaks need to get the F over themselves. The left looks like a Zelda villain, yes. And it could, with Zelda, it could go left, it could go either way, male or female. Sensing a theme with these new designs. The theme is not female. Babyfying means to make more like a baby. Babyfying means to make hotter. Yeah, but I think he meant babyfying. Maybe it was a Freudian slip on that one. I'd have to know the character's backstory first. The character's still supposed to be a woman, but it's supposed to be the older sister of one of the other characters. So the original complaint from the voice actress, which made sense, hey, how's it going, was supposed to be that she was too young, too sweet, too innocent looking, and they also reduced the size of her nose. The voice actress was like, it's Ozempic chic. It's going against, it's playing into conventional beauty standards. The contouring of the nose. Again, Ozempic and contouring a nose have nothing to do with each other. Likely meant lolly. Those artists are total gooners. Probably. That's probably what Jade King meant without saying lolly. I don't know why he wouldn't just say it. I mean, that's what you meant, just say it. Despar is saying, imagine having intrasexual competition with the Overwatch character you're voice acting. God, that is such a great way of putting it. Wants to make the character fugly and thinks it's a hill worth dying on. There's no unconventional beauty, only munters. Get a new voice actress, re-record the lines. They won't do that. They love these people. They love these people. Chinese gamers are destroying her. I bet. Aftermath, the Red Pine Lake developer, commenting on this, saying, if Overwatch bends the need to change their character's design, they will lose more support than they will gain, and here's why. People will lose faith in financially supporting a game that can redesign a character because of some vocal portion of the player base complaint. People won't buy certain skins in fear of future alterations, and if you think this is silly, it has already happened in Overwatch previously. That's right, Tracer's over-the-shoulder pose was changed, after backlash from it apparently sexualizing Tracer too much. Now this was a pose change, not a redesign, and this alone made the players question their choices. Although, again, there was the redesign of Tracer. I'm telling you, this ass didn't always used to be this flat. I know that, and I don't play Overwatch. So imagine if they start redesigning characters, players want attractive, good-looking character skins, start changing them and say goodbye to a lot of financial support from your player base. Some players won't care because it's mainly first person. Yeah, but you're still... Okay, this argument that it's only first person, I get it. Buying skins for yourself doesn't make a lot of sense in a game where you can't see yourself. But other players, you're going to see all the other characters. And if all the other characters look like Concord characters, you're not going to want to play that game, right? Because you're going to be looking at shit the entire time that nobody wants to look at. You need a mimetic value to get hype for the game, remove it, and well, no one cares about the character. See, it says some players won't care because it's mainly first person, but with the addition of Stadium, that's not the case anymore. The ones who don't care are likely not buying the skins. I imagine Stadium's a third person mode, I would assume. Hope the devs stay true to their design choices and make it clear to this voice actor that this internal conflict is not professional or appropriate. You are there to help bring her to life, not change someone's creation. Remember that? That's not gonna... Okay. Oh my god, Smash JT says, what gave it away? Yeah. Yeah, again... There was a time when, as a guy, I would have thought a chick with bright colored hair could be hot. And at times it still works in small doses in extremely certain, like, specific circumstances. Unfortunately, nowadays, it's an indicator of mental illness. They forget it's a porn game. Add in 4 times the particle effects and no one would see anything. Yeah. Mad Adam, we're almost there. We're getting there, bud. Hey, Ryan. Ubisoft's in the Epstein files. Is that the part where he was communicating with CEOs about adding microtransactions to the game? You guys know that was a thing, right? That Epstein apparently had a hand in discussing microtransactions as a lifestyle for games, I guess. I don't know. That post change was well received because it fit more in line with her avatar and pinup design. Let's see. Stupidest point ever. I don't want to play as something disgusting, even if I can't see them. To be fair, QC Jerks, you're not wrong, especially if you're picking the character. Again, you see with your eyes first. So before you even enter the match as the character, Do you want to play the 400-pound trans non-binary lesbian with the shaved head? No. You can't see yourself in game, but everyone else can. And then you also have to look at the other characters, the people playing the same characters. Epstein wants DLC. Oh my God. Ryan, this is the voice actor that is demanding that Overwatch change a character to fit non-conventional beauty standards. She's the voice actress of said character. From 80 level, Blizzard under fire for same face syndrome after Overwatch reveals its new heroes. Again, okay. You can have legitimate criticisms. Oh God, see, okay, here you go. This is one of these tweets, these side-by-side comparisons. This was on run in the trailer, in the animated trailer, okay? And then this is the side profile of the character in the new trailer. You tell me, which of these characters is more conventionally attractive? And then is it a bad thing? Okay. He nailed it, yeah. Hey, Mari. Yeah, here we go again, exactly. Oh, shit, here we go. I think I've got that one, in fact. Hang on a second. Do I have that one? I don't think I have that one. No. Whereas they want to make a character less sexy, no one wants less sexy. Yet there are a few people who want less sexy and have more power to change things. You know, it's because of the fact that for some weird reason, either it's the ESG funding, the DEI initiatives, where these companies get more money if they like meet a certain criteria with their character designs, with the non-binary trans voice actors they hire, or the women of color that they do interns, like the internship from CD Projekt Red, where they were exclusively giving internships to girls because more girl developers equals better for reasons. I don't know. There are people in the industry, unfortunately, who still have control of the large swath of the hiring and the practices behind the scenes that are doing this. And then you get into the voice acting industry, and I think most of you realize at this point, most voice actors are ideologically captured. They are insane. They are insufferable, you know? Voice actor is in unions and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. Blocked replies, yep, for sure. The nose could peel an orange. Yeah, the carved out eyebrow slot for me, plus the crazy colored contacts, man. I don't play Overwatch because the majority of the cast is gay and is full of pride, and worst of all, it's a Blizzard game. Well, Blizzard is definitely a thing, man. I thought ESG went away with USA. No, man, ESG is not gone. Maybe the emphasis on it is being de-escalated, but the same people that... It wasn't just because corporations did it for, funding. There were people within companies that believed it was a good thing. And still are. There are still people there. Looks like a Middle Eastern character. It does. She looks Persian, maybe Indian. I don't know. Looks female in that picture, yeah. The nose is drastic, though. So again, her complaint about the contouring of the nose has nothing to do with Ozempic chic. First off, Ozempic, as far as I know, doesn't shrink your nose. If you want to say the character's nose was more prominent, they should stick with that nose design. And that's a personal preference. Maybe, she has a point. I don't know. A big point. I got to give myself one of these right here. Crap, where did it go? No! Where are we? Push the wrong button. Okay, here we go. All of that for a noise effect that didn't even work. How rude. Now my noise effects have freaking crapped out on me. Oh my God, are you serious? How rude. Anyways, but the whole Ozempic chic when the character is already slim, agile,
are the best
fit,
way to show someone
I don't get it. It's a stupid argument.
Thing that you can
it's a stupid point she was trying to make.
Hey man, I love you. This many
Larry
dollars
Finger's still around. Yeah, exactly.
I'll say it again. It sucks when people change the lore, look of character, stories, doesn't it? Welcome to the club. The tide is turning and now they care.
Hey, dude, Smeg, exactly. It's always okay. We've talked about this before. And it's always about like people who say lore doesn't matter. What do you care, you nerd? Why do you care about lore? The lore is stupid. Lore shouldn't matter. You can always change canon. Canon doesn't matter. Should be open to interpretation. And if Empress was here, she could tell you, I don't pay attention to Warhammer other than covering the news and paying attention to like what's being changed. I don't know the in-depth lore of Warhammer, but I do know the changes they've made and the fact that they've done a lot of retconning. Again, the female custodies issue. And the thing about it is, the people who are infiltrating are the ones telling you canon doesn't matter, lore doesn't matter. But guess what? In 20 years, when it's been canon, that female custodies have always been a thing, and somebody else comes along and says, no, they weren't. I'm going to take that out of the lore. Then they'll tell you canon matters. They'll tell you lore matters. Canon is what you believe. I mean, canon's what you believe, but also in the terms of a fictional universe, it's what the rules of the universe are. It could be both. I hate phone keyboards. Dude, I'm on my regular mouse and keyboard and I'm still messing stuff up. Although to be fair, my Stream Deck, I don't know why the sound effects crapped out on it. They were working earlier and now they're not. I'll try to open that up in a second. Hang on a sec here. Going to start with Warhammer 40k or D&D. I can't take them. Well, we're going to talk about World of Warcraft in a second. Not something I really care about too much, but we'll talk about that in a second here. Where was that at? I had something else brought up. And, Smeg, thanks for the 5, buddy. Appreciate you. Sorry, I got off on a rant there, and I forgot to say thank you for the 5, dude. Appreciate you, man. I had a thought, and I lost it, guys. It's so sad. Terrible. Dreadful. Oh, that's what I was going to do. The retcons of Custodies was so stupid. One simple sentence from the original physical lore book says Sons of Terra. Well, yeah, it says that they took sons from the families, the what was it, the nobles or whatnot. And yeah, and it's the craziest shit. They also, it's kind of like, okay, so I'm reading The Witcher right now, guys. I haven't read a book in probably 2 years, like an actual sit down and read a novel or a book or whatever. So we went to the half-price bookstore and I picked up the first 3 Witcher books. I forgot to get Last Wish. I didn't realize Last Wish technically was the first book because it has like short stories that lead up to the first book. But I've read 260 pages in the last 3 days of the first book, which is impressive for me because it's like I hardly have time to do anything. And one of the craziest things, audio configuration error, that's why. Okay, go to audio settings. Well, there you go. I think we're good now. Anyways, one of the craziest things about it is that they specifically talk about in the book that Ciri wants to be a Witcher, but they run into this issue where all of a sudden these Witchers, because they've only ever had male Witchers, don't know how to deal with a young girl who's turning into a woman, right? She's going through changes, and they don't understand that because they've never experienced it. It's like there are reasons for these things that are set in stone, that are canon, that are lore, and the problem is people who have no respect for it, they come in and they say, I want the name, I want to make this IP a skin suit for my own personal vanity, so I'm going to take the look and the aesthetic of this thing, but I'm going to make the rules different. I want to change everything, right? Yeah, no, it's awesome. Actually, taking some time to read has been fun. I'm actually wanting desperately to get back to reading because it's great. It's awesome. Do I want a wallpaper of the characters? Would I rock the merch? Is there anything about the game I want to signal to the world as a gamer and buy the game? Yeah, that's exactly it. That's the biggest problem. Shit, Turb knows my dark secret. What? Oh my god. I bet they're pushing the Custodians into lore so that Amazon can strong-arm Cavill. Dude, it will be really interesting to see if that happens. Let me test something real quick here. Hang on a sec. Hey, we're back. We're back with the sound effects. There we go. All right. Back to the topic at hand, though. Oh, Mari, exactly. But it's the same as people entering a country that they're not from. And this is not going to be an ICE conversation and immigration and politics. Don't worry, guys. We're not going there. Although I'm not going to pull an Emaru and apologize for not knowing my own opinion on ICE. But it's the same thing as entering a country that is not your native homeland and demanding that the established culture change everything to fit your whims and desires. And that, Mari, I think you can greatly understand. And Japan has definitely come out recently and said, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So kudos to them. Looks better from a distance, I suppose. Are we talking about this character here? Because this is the one that they're all complaining about. It's been hinted that Amazon was the driving force behind pushing the female custodians, and since Game Workshop are just greedy pieces of shit, they happily jumped aboard. Yeah, we'll see. But Witcher 4 series is Witcher F the lore, yay. Dude, Witcher 4 I don't know, man. I've got mixed feelings on. I'm like, all right, I'm going to wait until I see something really concerning. But the fact that they've decided to make her a Witcher, disregard all the lore, disregard the fact that she's a teenager, young woman in Witcher 3, then afterwards, if she goes through mutations, then they take away her powers, the thing that makes her special, the fact that she's this magical source, and she could end the world without even knowing how. And now she's just the female Geralt. Like the warning signs, the red flags are all over the place for me there. Oh yeah, no, the minifigures of the Warhammer characters, terrible. They look awful. An ice sim game might be fine. I mean, I'm not going to advocate for you to play Roblox, because Roblox is like a pedo haven, unfortunately. But apparently people were doing that with the ICE protests in Roblox, that they were going in and like arresting people and shit. I'm like, oh my God. Whew, pretty funny. From Mizu Tamari, saying Overwatch finally realized the stupid community they were pandering to is extremely toxic and doesn't actually make them money, so they started making cute characters again. Immediately, the voice actor for one of those cute characters who felt completely comfortable taking money to voice said characters is whining about the character being cute. Cute. Wow, I can't talk tonight. Holy crap. Last tweet before we get to the reveal from DOA Mamiji, who I just finally realized was a guy. I'm like, is this a dude or a chick? Talks an awful lot about like the Gooner bait stuff. It's a guy. How much you want to bet Blizzard caves and changes her looks? Well, here you go. From the game director, Aaron Keller. From the official Overwatch account, Overwatch Spotlight, reception, and an on-run update from the game director, Aaron Keller. Who, by the way, he looks like a normal enough guy. He's pretty jacked. The haircut's a little soy boy, but, you know, quite obviously a man.
Hey, everyone. Thank you all for the incredible reception to last week's Spotlight event.
Never mind, he's gay. I've never had to eat my words so fast. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's not just the lisp, okay? Not just the lisp. I'm sorry, it's not it. I had a lisp when I was growing up. Parents didn't tell me. My mom told me she thought it was cute, so they never told me. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So I had to fight it for like my entire early adulthood, teenage years. Once in a while, still comes out. It's Jover, man. It's over. I don't know, Susano. I'm getting that vibe. I was pre-straight gay. Yeah, hell yeah.
We're sorting through all the questions, comments, excitement, and feedback that you've all shared. And I wanted to take a moment to address one thing in particular. The team is currently discussing what it will take to make...
Is there any doubt? Sorry, guys, for anybody who had any doubt.
We're all homos. Homo sapiens.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna leave that at that.
On-run look and feel more like the fierce older sister that we all envision her to be. We're so proud of the work that our team has put into On-Ron and the rest of the 5 heroes launching in Season 1, and we agree that she can be even better if we get this aspect of her right in game.
Did they shrink the horizontal plane of the video? You mean this one here? This screen I have is a little bit cropped. This is from Twitter though, so it's a vertical video and we're looking at it horizontally. So if I switched to this other screen over here, it'll shrink the video down a little bit. I've got a full screen and a slightly cropped screen that I use for YouTube streams and for videos. So, thank you for encouraging me to keep Overwatch uninstalled. Yeah.
We discussed sharing this with all of you last week, but wanted to wait until we had confirmation of exactly what we can do.
Could just be how they filmed it,
We're
to be honest.
hoping to make this update in Season 1, but I don't have specifics to share just yet. Our hero models are incredibly complicated.
No, Cage, it's not just about like the tone of voice. Like, I don't have like a deep voice. I'm not going to do like pirate software shit and put a voice mod on my microphone to, oh, I'm going to talk like this every stream and I'm a guy now. Or you get those streamers. There's a dude I've watched in the past called Sheriff Eli over on Twitch. And he's like this probably 45-year-old, kind of, I imagine in real life, probably kind of pudgy, you know, old retired law enforcement officer, and he talks like this every stream, and he's got the raspy voice, and it's like, you know, there are guys that have those voices, like they've smoked a 6-pack every day since they were basically in the womb. You know, judging someone on their voice alone, probably a bad idea. But for me, I'm getting the vibe, like pretty hardcore here.
And we really need to test out what we can do. Always striving to make Overwatch better, and I think Season 1 is a great example of the dedication and tireless work that our team puts into this game, its universe, and ultimately our players. And we're so excited to share it with all of you when Season 1 launches tomorrow. Thanks for the feedback and support. We couldn't do this without all of you. Please keep it coming.
So their response to this entire thing, which was originally, this is the reason I kept this article up here, guys. Let me see here. Hang on a second. I can't see any information on whether he's gay or not. Smoked since I was a teenager in my 40s, and I sound a lot like you. Maybe an octave or two lower or deeper. Huh. It's crazy because some people just sounds like they've had their vocal cords like run through like a cheese grater or something. Oh, he is? Trying to make Overwatch better. Let's just try not to laugh now. So again, here's the thing. This all started with this article first. This was the first article I saw online right now talking about the last 3 or 4 days, talking about the issue with this character. Then the voice actress picked up on this and ran with it. And all of a sudden, everybody online is like, oh, this character design, she looks awful. She doesn't look like the trailer. Again, having legitimate complaints about the design of a character is fine. But intentionally needing to see something different because of the fact that it doesn't fit your worldview is entirely a different topic. And unfortunately, the two things become one with these people. Octave or two, maybe 3. Maybe he's talking down here. Yeah, thank you for screaming on socials. Yeah, we're gonna make her, dude. Don't worry. Oh my God. I think he lifted an inch off the ground when he said excited. Could be unintentional to drive hate-based marketing. I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy. They were looking for an excuse to make the change. Who was, though? Who do you think was looking for an excuse to make the change? Do you think the devs were? Because they're the ones who made the character the way it was. Why would you make a character the way that you decided to design her to make her more appealing to the masses, only to have your own voice actor and the media come out to basically lead a campaign to have you change her to be less attractive? I don't understand the point of that. Getting people mad to get the attention metrics up to drive journalists to cover without paying them to. I mean, that's fair. The Blizzard devs, they didn't like the backlash over on Blue Sky. So, I mean, Susano, I get it, and I agree that the whole hate-based marketing works. I mean, look, Highguard got 97, almost 98,000 players their first 24 hours. That was their peak when they launched. And that was probably about 90,000 more players than would have played it had nobody seen the trailer at the Game Awards. So, okay, it worked. You know, even all the hate they got, all the people talking about it, you and me, everyone else talking about our issues with the game before it even launched. It didn't turn into long-term players. The player base for Highguard is now around 7,000 to 10,000 players across platforms, give or take a couple thousand at any point in any given day, you know? So hate-based marketing, it's fine for your initial, like, we want to make a big splash, cause a controversy, get people talking about it. But for games like Highguard, it didn't prove to be profitable. All right, Mari, have a good time. Enjoy your work if you can. Generally, me, it means something is wrong with the game. Exactly it. If you have to rely on hate-based marketing, what is the issue with your game, right? Exactly. Always think their worldview is more important than other people. In this case, it's players and feedback. It's not important to them. Yeah, exactly. By seeing something choir like I'm a bass, see, I'm more of a baritone. I can sing pretty low, but it's like, it's not going to be like, I'm not going to be rattling any dashboard if I'm singing in the car or anything like that. Yeah, rage bait works if the game is actually good. Okay, Meatloaf who's ball-shaped. Wait, didn't Meatloaf die a few years back? Pretty sure he passed away. I can't remember. It's probably been more than a few years. All right, so here's some interesting connections, guys, before we get into the next side of the Blizzard thing. I saw this pop up for whatever reason on my Twitter account, not somebody I've ever interacted with or anything, but in the middle of all this stuff with Overwatch and this voice actress, this person, Bailey Pizza, they, I help lead Overwatch esports at Blizzard, says, today is my last day at Blizzard after 10 years of Overwatch in my life. I really wouldn't be who I am without Overwatch and the esport. My decision to leave is a melancholic necessity that is really hard to swallow. To everyone I've met on this journey, thank you for making it real. If you scroll down through the comments, you got Fariha down here, of course. Thank you for everything you've done, Bailey. You'll be missed, but we're cheering for you. And a little further down, I noticed somebody that we all recognize, I'm sure. Where is she at? The one that you guys thought was actually a dude, but it's a woman. Alex Frostwolf, where did you go? Community manager for Highguard. I can't find her, but she's down in here somewhere. Here you go. Bailey, the decision to continue on may be melancholic. The care you've poured into the Overwatch esports will last. Head up, you did good, and wherever you're headed is lucky to have you. The crazy part is everybody in the replies, 90% of them all have like furry-looking avatars or anime or whatnot. It's terrifying. Saw someone I recognize, Taco. Hey, H. Brown. Yeah, well, there's always furries in the mix there. A ton of gay or trans characters in the Soulsborne game, just saying no one cares with those because we have a reason to play the games. They're great games. Well, and Susano, the thing about the Soulsborne games is unlike these games where it's blatant in your face, look at me, I'm a hero, and I'm trans, and Pride Month, and this and that. You ever see Elden Ring? Do you ever see Dark Souls? The games are essentially, again, Dark Souls, Soulsborne type games, Souls-like, as they call them, are grim, they're gritty, they're dark, they're otherworldly, they are bleak, for lack of a better word. Whereas these hero shooters, especially the modern Blizzard games, and we're going to talk about this in a second too, because there's more of this now going into World of Warcraft, they're disgustingly utopian, to the point where even the moments where it's supposed to be serious and dark and gritty are just gay unicorn rainbow vomit everywhere. It's just disgusting. It's crazy people telling their life stories online. No one cares. Yeah, exactly. To leave a job in the games industry right now is a little crazy unless it's necessary. Not an easy industry to get into a new job with. So many others out there that are looking for work. Well, Craig, I'm going to assume that she lost her job. The esports scene, as I understand it, with games like Overwatch and stuff, I know that there are Marvel Rivals teams that have disbanded recently in certain esports organizations. And so I think esports might be shrinking. It could be that her job just wasn't necessary anymore. Tarkov server's down for an update. I haven't even had to think about that for a while, man. I haven't had to worry about playing the Tarkov match for probably 2 years now. One of these days, when I don't have my kids in baseball anymore and it's a summer evening and I have nothing else to do, maybe I'll play some Tarkov. I don't know. That World of Warcraft player housing is ass. Oh, dude, for real. We're going to get into some crazy shit. So, talking about people who are not, it's a she-they. Talking about people who are not insane, loser, weirdo, they, them, pronoun-pushing freaks. This person here, Angelica Tosh. I believe she's Russian. If you've seen her before, you've probably seen her featured on Asmongold. He's talked about her videos before. She covers a lot of stuff in gaming. He covered her video one time talking about, I think it was the Oblivion remake, about the female character models that they changed in the game and stuff. And her YouTube channel just blew up, right? It was huge. Well, it's easy when you're a hot chick. You're a hot chick, you get featured on Asmongold, you talk about video games, you're in. That's the formula, right? No shame at all. She put this post out there talking about what's going on with World of Warcraft. And it's interesting. I heavily disagree, and we'll get into that in a minute here. Prince of Cats? Prince of Cats. What is Prince of Cats? What are you talking about? In 2 days, Deep Rock Galactic Season 6 comes out on PlayStation. Oh, that dude, I'm glad that game is still kicking ass, man. Some saying they can't earn enough anymore to bother managing anyone, but I don't really track. I don't pay too much attention to esports either. I know Zav Hunter, he was here earlier. I'm not sure if he's still in here or not. He cares a lot more about esports than I do. Her bio says Prince of Cats. Oh, it does. Daedric, Prince of Cats in Chaos. I mean, she's got a pretty good YouTube channel, over 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, 153,000. Again, it's the perfect formula. You've got beautiful Russian girl that talks about video games, cosplays, has armor and swords, and dresses up like a fairy princess and talks about video games. I mean, kudos to her. No hate whatsoever. That's like a massively winning formula. You know, that's great. Disneyfied, feminized. Yes, exactly. Background NPC was another one. Cage, he's covered both Angelica Tosh and background NPC. Background NPC is much more normie. I don't want to call background NPC an e-girl because she absolutely is not. She's more like girl next door, not e-girl. This Angelica Tosh would probably fit the e-girl status more just based on looks. Background NPC is awesome, but she's very much just like cool, normal, that girl that you would just hang out with and play video games and probably would think of her like a big sister or whatever. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she's awesome. She's so chill in her videos, but on her Twitter, she can be more savage. I actually haven't seen... I follow her on Twitter, but I don't see too many of her posts. Speaking of the housing updates being asked, you sent me something. Did you send it on Discord or on Twitter? Oh, that's right. Vernum, I don't think you're on Twitter, are you? I can't remember which of you guys avoid the socials. I think A. Vernum avoids the socials, which is probably a good idea. What did you send me? It really is ass. Oh my god. What am I looking at? Is that in the trailer? That looks like a butthole. What? Hang on a second. Hey, Vernum, what is this? You got to tell me what this is. Is this in the trailer? Dude. Wholesome, yes, very wholesome. So, Craig, you can thank A. Vernum for that. I don't know what the hell that was he sent me. Hey, Tsunomics. Mission abort. Okay, so here we have Angelica Tosh, okay? Says, oh, I was on the full screen the whole time, guys, when I was talking. I apologize. I didn't realize it was my ugly mug up there instead of her. So anyways, this was Angelica Tosh, the chick I was talking about, her YouTube channel and all that. Oh no, I just switched it so you guys could see A. Vernum. Okay, we're good. I'm not that retarded. Whew, crisis averted. Okay. The assets don't mesh with the worlds they're in. Okay, so Angelica Tosh said this on the 6th, which was, I think, 3 days ago. She says, it's not the feminization of World of Warcraft that ruined Warcraft. It's the Disneyfication. As a girl who grew up in this game, I observed a deeply feminine side to World of Warcraft from vanilla, which made the world deeper and more interesting for all players. It was something that harmonized with the grit, darkness, and the epic fantasy adventure that was Warcraft. The modern aesthetic isn't dividing the player base due to the game being inherently more girly or feminine. It's happening because they moved away from the things that made it authentically Warcraft and traded their identity in favor of a kind of cartoon theme park aesthetic. In some places, remnants of older World of Warcraft linger, but in others, its original essence has eroded beyond recognition. It doesn't mean that the game is bad, it still has a dedicated player base. However, the reality is it's different now. At this point, a lot of what made WoW truly Warcraft can only be revisited in earlier versions of the game. And I take a lot of issue with statements like that. I understand she's trying to do the thing that where you kind of appeal to the normies. You don't want to go too hard in the paint. You don't want to be like, yo, it's gay crap, it's woke, it's full of trans ideology and this. She doesn't want to go that extreme. Sure, I get it. Appeal to the normies, it'll help your channel grow. No shade. But it is truly the feminization that goes with it. You can't have Disneyfication without... That's a big crack. You can't have Disneyfication without feminization. They go hand in hand. Yes, Smeg, they are the same thing. But DB, the thing is, who is Disney's target audience? Who has Disney's target audience always been? Girls. The princess merchandise, dude. That's what Disney has always profited off of, is the prison merchandise. Prison Mike, no. The princess merchandise, the princess experience. At the theme parks, you don't go and have tea with Spider-Man. You go and you have tea with the princesses, man. Fatties, well, now it's fatties with purple hair. Even when they get boy brands, they always F them up. Dude, exactly. So once Disney owned Marvel and Star Wars, they have tried to turn them into girl brands. They have done it excessively with Star Wars, and they've tried in the last 8 years with the MCU, and it failed miserably, which is why they're now pivoting back towards the original characters in the MCU. Okay? Oh, her and Vera? Yeah. I like Vera. They're real safe and based. AK my DNA, bro. Blizzard is absolutely effed. All their games are trash now. Yeah, dude, for real. It literally started with Snow White, exactly. Culminated with the gay marriage quest and Dragonflight. Princess, prisoners of... Don't get me started on them princess prisoners of Persia, man. Woohoo! She says, my main point here to clarify is that the game was infantilized. That I can agree with. And a lot of games have been this way too. A lot of any property has been infantilized. Look at freaking Highguard. Look at... what's their face? What we just talked about with Overwatch. It's infantilized. Not talking about babified like the actual face, like the gamer article was. We're talking, it's playing to 12-year-olds. It's childish, you know. Most of Disney TV-based cartoons were not all princessy. DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Gargoyles. Sure, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I'm just saying that Disney's primary market, their merchandise, has always been heavily, it's been predominantly princess type stuff. Girl brand, you know. The Force is microscopic worms in the blood. Don't get me started on the midi-chlorians, okay? Please don't. Please don't. Hey, Empress. So she says it's infantilized. Something being more feminine is not the same as it becoming safer and more approachable for little kids, family friendly. I agree with that. Having Lord of the Rings, although they butchered the movies were fantastic. Top 10 films of all time, Lord of the Rings trilogy, but the movies as adaptations got so many things wrong. And they did create more roles for females that didn't exist in the books. That being said, there was plenty of femininity to the Lord of the Rings movies that didn't infantilize it, for sure. So it's not femininity that is the inherent problem. In fact, men like femininity because then that's how you get beautiful feminine women. Angelica gives me red flags. Are you getting them Kira vibes like we were talking about earlier in the stream? Disney adults are 100% weird. Midi-chlorians are not epic. They're retarded. They tried to take the fantasy, spiritual element of Star Wars and make it a fucking science fiction. And I will never apologize for that. That is the most retarded thing George Lucas ever did, was try to create little beings in your cells that connect with the Force, and that's where the Force comes from. I'll never forgive him for that. I would forgive him for selling Star Wars as a brand, Lucasfilm, to Disney before I'd forgive him for making the midi-chlorians. Anyways, fantasy as a genre has many feminine traits that beautifully complement the masculine, but those traits are not what they played into here, and what they ended up creating isn't something that will, as a rule, appeal to all women. Also true. Empress, I think you could agree with that. That's not how midi-chlorians work. Okay, but they somehow also magically created Anakin from the Virgin Mary story, so... Star Wars was always science fiction, but it always deviated into the fantasy realm versus Star Trek that went more science fiction. So, yes, technically they both fall under the science fiction umbrella. Star Wars was space fantasy, space opera fantasy. Star Trek was science fiction. That's where people definitely deviate between the two franchises, the two stories. Oh, Empress, that... I'd say you'd agree with the fact that we're talking about World of Warcraft, Overwatch, things that have dumbed down and tried to sanitize the properties of their story. Feminizing something or having feminine elements in something doesn't make it childish. I said that's what you'd probably agree with. It's okay to have feminine elements to a story or a game or whatnot. That inherently doesn't make it, kiddish or family friendly. That's what I was saying. Star Wars was high fantasy, Star Trek low fantasy. I just always viewed them as one was fantasy, one was science fiction. Science fantasy. By the way, World of Warcraft's only going to get worse. Oh, I know. If you make it too puerile in the media, most adults aren't going to want it. That's the thing we talked about on last stream, guys. Here's the thing. Not everybody wants Doom 24/7. Not everybody wants grim dark like Warhammer 24/7 or Souls games where it's always bleak and weird and dystopian and shit. Sometimes you want stuff that isn't so dark and gritty. But there needs to be a level of seriousness that you take when you approach adults trying to sell product. And again, remember, adults are the primary customer base of video games. When you're trying to appeal to adults, you need to have something that's going to appeal to their sensibilities too. Not just, the ones who are looking for blood and guts and gore. And that's cool. I love a good decapitation in most of my fantasy stuff too. It's not a good movie unless there's a good decapitation in it at some point. When Aragorn cut off Lurch's head in Fellowship of the Ring, I'm like, done deal. Perfect movie. But that being said, you still have to have an element of seriousness when you're selling a product to adults. Treat adults like adults, right? Damn chat lags. I'm sorry, man. They are inherently the Force, and it's merely a marker. Doesn't make you a Force user. It's scientific mechanism, yes. Dude, Zav, it's trying to overcomplicate something that didn't need to be there in the first place, man. Let me see. The elves in this were kind of sus, but the humans were just humans. The dwarves, well, they're hard to tell apart. Well, I mean, Susano, actually, in the Lord of the Rings books and in the movies, they never have a female dwarf. Unless you're talking about World of Warcraft, and I don't know because I never played World of Warcraft. There's female male injured in a world that's... Exactly. So the question, Empress, that the thing that we're talking about with World of Warcraft specifically is the Disneyfication of things, taking things and dumbing them down to the point where they're almost infantile or childish, just safe, unoffensive, bland, unappealing to adults, right? This girl, what's her face? Angelica Tosh, her argument is that Disneyfication is not the same thing as feminization, which I take a little bit of a disagreement with because Disney's biggest market has always been to push the princess products, right? The princess stories, even the ones where the girl has to be saved by a prince, the story is still about the princess. Sleeping Beauty is still the main character of her story, even though the prince has to save her from, Maleficent. So it's still a princess story, right? If you Disneyfy something, I think it's really hard to separate that from feminizing it as well. Certainly, you can't Disneyfy something without making it childish, but I think that there's an element of feminization that comes in to that as well. It all started with Mist of Pandaria, the Pokemon expansion. No, what? You're confusing me now. I don't typically watch Ryan Cannell. In fact, I don't think I've watched Ryan Cannell in about 3 years. I prefer my other small content creators. And I say small with a caveat because both Atreus and Kata have bigger channels than me. But I like both those dumbasses too. They're my buds. Kilted Cajun. And then, of course, Wards of Paradise, Cult Classic Cage, Empress. A few of them. What show was straight up trash? Ironheart? Yeah, Kata's... Dude, Kata's breakdown of Ironheart was awesome. I am so happy that show came out because his 6-part breakdown... I think it was actually 6 or 8 episodes of Ironheart that all came out around the same time. His review of that show was one of the funniest things I watched. That's Disney for you. It's not universe. Yeah, exactly, Empress. So I think it's hard to separate Disneyfication from feminization is my only point. She says, let me see here. Maybe Disney adults and others who enjoy similar aesthetics, but mostly little kids. The post is mainly a counter to women ruined Warcraft when really the game has always had an interesting girly side that we all enjoyed. But again, I think she's trying too hard to separate the two. I don't think blaming women for ruining Warcraft is necessarily the same thing as saying they Disneyfied it, which overly feminized it, right? One person here responds and says, if something is primarily enjoyed by men because it appeals to their sense of masculinity, women will often find a way to ruin it. Then justify ruining it with nonsense like it was always aimed at females because of the beautiful environments. Yeah, men like beautiful things too. We just prefer bloody, ruthless war layered on top of them. I mean, he's not wrong about that last part. I agree with that. You give anything to boys and boys will figure out a way to make it into a weapon, kill something with it, blow something up. That's just boys. She said, what part of my post justifies ruining World of Warcraft? I don't play it for the exact reason that I outlined. It's too different now. It feels like it's aimed at children. I never said it was aimed at females, as you so eloquently put. I merely point out that a balance of the feminine and masculine is the reason that Warcraft was so special and compelling. I don't know. You guys tell me. I didn't play World of Warcraft when it first launched. Was what made it appealing to anybody the balance of male and female characters or roles or whatever the masculine, feminine stereotypes in the game were, or was it just a fun game to play? I can't speak for it because I played Guild Wars. And that game I don't think was overly feminine either. Chaos is fun. Chaos is fun. Too obtuse to say so. Yeah. Gummy Bears was horrible? Oh, man, I enjoyed Gummy Bears. I really liked that one, man. We should just have stories for people that anybody can watch. Exactly. Dark Crystal was good. That didn't creep everyone out. I don't remember Dark Crystal, man. So I want Dark and Giddy all the time because it's just great. Shut up about their Star Wars. Shut up about... Ryan Cadell's always grumpy. Reminds me of my cat. Oh my God. Watch the Mist of Pandaria cinematic trailer and you'll see clearly why he started with what. I'm sure that there's a reason. That's why the new Snow White went bad, a princess story that didn't new man. So yeah, I mean, I personally top 3 Disney films of all time. Snow White's nowhere near the top. I don't like it from what I've seen. I've never sat down and watched the Snow White cartoon start to finish. I've seen bits and pieces over the years and I don't want to watch it. Snow White is butt ugly. Sorry guys, I think she's like a dog. My 3 favorite, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, and Hunchback of Notre Dame. All of them have women that are not these pathetic, weak, helpless women. However, every one of them has a badass male hero in them. Beast, Quasimodo, Prince. All 3 of them. And again, that's just... if you want to talk about a good blend of feminization and masculinization of a story, all 3 of those films rock as far as that goes. The new live action Wokes. No, I didn't see either one of them. Craig, I didn't like the original cartoon. I don't like the animation. I don't like the character. I think Snow White looks awful. And then the Rachel Zegler one, I'm like, I'm not subjecting myself to that. I had no reason to watch it. Dad's missing in most of them. No. Dad, the dad isn't missing in Sleeping Beauty. Hunchback of Notre Dame, the gypsy doesn't have any family. But, Beauty and the Beast, yeah, her dad's in the insane asylum, or they're going to try to lock him up or whatever. Disney always had a problem in general keeping the parents around. You're not wrong about that. All right, so she says to understand fantasy as a genre is to accept that it has inherently feminine traits, which is why it's so widely appealing. I think they're going off into the weeds here, man. I think this is just too much into the weeds here. However, for example, this is the Coming Home cinematic that recently released. I think this was like a week ago on World of Warcraft. This is what recently has sparked a lot of discussion about the future of this franchise, this game, because it's going so far into this this sanitized, unoffensive, non-grim, non-dark universe that it's definitely not appealing to a lot of people who've been playing this game for a long time. Yeah, this video. She's kind of hot if she'd shave her back, man. She's got more back hair than I do. Like, Bambi's, not both of his parents. His mom was shot. His dad is the one that raised him. Single dad. You don't see that too often. Oh my God. All right, here you go. Sorry, too loud. Oh, I know, Averno. I've seen that. Yeah, it's a real problem, Susano. It really is.
Yes! yes! Woo!
I was saying this, I can't remember whose stream I was watching this on. It might have been Big Fry last week. They were watching the cinematic, talking about, again, problem with games and stuff. And it's like World of Warcraft and Guardians of the Galaxy had a baby. it's that kind of weird, strange, quirky, borderline stupid element to it, you know? Edit it out later on. And again, I don't know, guys. Has World of Warcraft always played into this like kind of cheeky humor? This makes me think of the new Fable trailer that we're seeing, right? She takes this crown from this monster she killed, and I'm gonna turn this into something to hold my tea kettle. Like, really? And look, World of Warcraft, the animation's always been like the game graphics have never been like top notch, and that's something that you just kind of deal with because that's just been the game's been around forever. And I know that I think they've overhauled the graphics over the years and whatnot, but this isn't something that I can imagine would make people want to come to the game now. Maybe people who've been playing it for a while and they've suffered through it and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just God, let's look at this. Diablo 2. Trying to think if it was Diablo 2 or 3. Now I get it. Diablo, much darker universe than World of Warcraft, obviously. But still. Same company, right? The trailers have more charm than this. Yeah, there you go. Dude, Diablo 2 is a banger. Game's freaking awesome. Oh yeah, the new Paladin cinematic is good. Really good. Actually has me interested in playing the game, even though I know it's gonna suck. Not the same company anymore, I know. Yes, you should be able to recognize it immediately, 100%. More what I expected for Warcraft. Yeah. Warlords of Draenor cinematic. I'll pull that one up in a second. The one that gets me every time. Let me see here. The one I'm thinking of has got to be Diablo 3. I know Diablo 3 wasn't the best as far as like Diablo games. Diablo 2 is pretty fantastic. Oh God, dude, guys. I cannot tell you. I want to go full screen on this one. I cannot tell you guys how hyped, how pumped up I was the first time I watched this. I guess 1080p is the highest we can go. This cinematic right here is just like, for me, this was peak. Okay, I know that's kind of cringe to say.
My uncle saw what he wanted to see.
Deckard sacrificed much to protect this world. But his work is not over.
What would you know about sacrifice?
Tyrael, the ancient law of the high heavens strictly forbids us from interfering with the mortal world. Yet you have done so, brazenly.
All I am guilty of, Imperius, is bringing justice, while you hide, cowering behind.
Yeah, good evil remake trailer, then the game just disappear forever. Yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it?
Now answer for your transgressions.
Playthrough, but not the official one. Disavow. Disavow. I gotta say that. Oh, it did its job 100%.
You cannot judge me. I am justice itself.
Yeah, Susano, the game wasn't the best, but this whole cinematic was incredible.
The innocent. But if our precious laws bind you all to inaction, then I will no longer stand as your brother.
Sacrilege.
Chose to be one of us.
Lich King cinematic is still fire. I'll pull that one up. Remember when Black Tyrael wasn't even a problem? Exactly. Yeah. Not even a question, dude. Didn't have a problem. Oh yeah, Susano, it did its job for real. Alright, let me look up the Wrath of the Lich King cinematic. Hang on a second, while we're on this topic. Alright. I can't recall if I've ever actually watched this one or not. Female Diablo and the Death of Deckard Cain. Yeah. Fable video. Man, I'll watch that on the next one.
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas.
So, okay, I've heard people talk about this. Apparently, Wrath of the Lich King was kind of like the last hurrah of World of Warcraft, as I understand it, right? It was before everything turned to shit. So this was kind of like the best. This was kind of like World of Warcraft had been around for forever. It was great. It was great. It was great. Then they peaked with this, and then everything was downhill from there, as I understand it. All right, no worries, Empress. I'd say so. Okay, that's what I've heard. Last great expansion. Lich was peak? Okay. Yep, just consume more products, Susano, exactly. You want the blind reaction? Okay, we'll do.
My child, I watched with pride as you grew into a weapon of righteousness.
Before the purple hairs.
Remember, our line has always ruled with wisdom and strength.
Yeah, Susano, I've never seen this, and this is awesome.
And I know you will show restraint when exercising your great power.
Is this Tony J? Who is the voice actor for this? This sounds like the dude that played, what was his role in the Legacy of Kain games? I can't remember. Tony J. Oh yeah, exactly, Empress. Oh, the Elder Lord, that's who he was. I'm pretty sure. No, Tony J didn't play Raziel, did he? Thought he was the Elder Lord. Oh, maybe he did both voices. I can't remember. Not safe to drive on.
Victory, my son, is stirring the hearts of your people. I tell you this, for when my days have come to an end...
Right, Truth. I feel that, man.
You shall be king.
Dude, that was freaking badass. Okay. Like, hardcore. Not even kidding. Oh, yeah, no, the crowd shots are always going to be hard to do well. Blizzard lost most of the good animators and artists. I mean, I don't not like World of Warcraft. I just didn't play it. It was one of those things where I never got into it, and then I was like, well, I could dabble with Guild Wars. It doesn't have the commitment that Overwatch does. Or not Overwatch, oh my god, World of Warcraft does. Let me see, Tony J. What did this man do? He did a lot of video game voices as far as I remember. Let's see. English voiceover wiki for Tony J. He was Claude Frollo in Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think he was also the guy that played the guy that ran the insane asylum on Beauty and the Beast. Golden Skull and Skeleton Warriors, Shere Khan, and he was Shere Khan in Jungle Book 2. He was in Disney's Tailspin and Wraith in The Mighty Ducks. He was, let's see, animation. Where's video games at? Video games. Freaking ad popping up on my phone, man. This man has done a lot of voice acting. Holy crap. Direct-to-video, movies, TV specials, anime voice work. Holy crap. So I don't even know if that was him or not. I've got no idea. Video games. Yes. Oh, he played Mortanius, William the Just in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Let's see what else. He was in Fallout. The first one. Wow. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. Forgotten Realms Baldur's Gate. I'm waiting to see if he pops up in World of Warcraft. Yeah, he was the Elder God in Legacy of Kain Defiance and Soul Reaver. Jesus, this man was in everything. Bunch of Star Trek games. Wow. Dude. You don't have to, I mean, he wasn't the voiceover in this. Whoever the voiceover was for this one, this was incredible. Tailspin was awesome, man. I started an EverQuest. Yeah, that was a thing that came out when we were younger. Oh, man, was more of Tomb Raider or Final Fantasy player. Only Final Fantasies that I've played were the original and Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube. Weird game. Not terrible, just weird. Yes, Tony J was the Elder God in Legacy of Kain. I'm old, I get it. Man, we all are, okay? Oh, well, Zav's not old. He's a youngin'. Everyone else here is old. That's okay. What was the other one you guys were saying we needed to watch? There's this one here. This is okay. Talk about jumping from Wrath of the Lich King, which you guys said was 20 years ago. Here is the newest cinematic for World of Warcraft. Okay, you ready for this one? Let's pull this one up. I was -1 in 99. Warlords of Draenor. Okay. Earl Bowen. Well, dude, freaking awesome voice, man.
Nexus King. Xal'atath is supreme. Join us.
So here's your modern day cinematic.
My ethereals will never be bound again. Xal'atath be damned!
I hate the animation. I'm not even gonna lie. What is with this?
Retreat! Run now!
Yeah, Korean Cowboy, I'm not feeling this one. Mobile game cinematic. Oh my god.
Resistance be done.
Xal'atath.
For eons, you and your people have been slaves, fed scraps. But I offer you a freedom beyond.
Oh, it does. It's got the transgender lighting. You guys see that? The purple and pink in the background. Okay, here's the funny thing. I was trying to explain this to my kids because even they've noticed this in games that everything's like pink and purple. I'm like, technically they call that, people that notice it, we call that trans lighting or whatever. And people make fun of you and laugh at you about it, but it's true. If you look at games like Dragon Age Velguard, games like this, games that have gone excessively gay or woke or this and that, it's always purple and different shades of pink or maybe some pink and some blue mixed in. I mean, look at the trans flag. It's pink and blue, right? So there you go. I now understand why my friend bought me the game. I didn't want to suffer alone. Yeah. Sadly, it fits here because she's Void themed. Oh, and the teal. Yeah, exactly. See, again, Averno, I wouldn't know that, but it does just, for people like me who aren't playing the game, it just looks like more of the same thing that we've seen over and over and over and over.
That you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
For shits and giggles, watch.
I love shits and
Warhammer,
giggles.
Mark of Chaos, 2006, cinematic trailer, fiction fans. To see 2006 VS now.
Mark of Chaos 2006. All right, we will pull that one up in a minute. What is the color of corruption in games? Typically, like, I mean, dark purple, right? Typically, corruption in most games, if it's like dark magic and shit, I would think with like a dark purple, gooey kind of stuff, red, those kind of things. Anything more on that spectrum, leaning into that purple or yeah, I mean, purple, red, crimson, those kind of things. Like if you look at like the rot in Elden Ring, it's the crimson. What do they call that shit? But it's like that rusty reddish color. Yeah, no, I get it here. Like it makes sense here. It's just that whole I've seen so much of it that it just kind of all runs together. No, you're right. If it's chaos, it's chaos. That's what it is. This is lavender. I will give them a little bit of grace in this one situation. If it was dark purple everywhere, you wouldn't be able to see anything. So they kind of have to go with the lavender just to make it visible. Not aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion. Scarlet Rot, thank you. Yes. To be fair, anything could be a corruption color. True, okay, it depends on the setting, yes. But typically, for me, if I think corruption, I'm thinking like a dark purple, something gooey, or like you said, red, blood red, crimson, those kind of things. Something rusty color like the Scarlet Rot. Grail's rusty red as fuck. Yeah, exactly. I could do better than this, man. You could do it with lighting? Well, you'd also have to change the animation style. This is very weak. It would get completely lost if you darkened everything. This would all disappear if you darkened all of it. And I say that as somebody who's not an artist, looking at it just with my own retarded eyes. I think if this was all dark purple, you wouldn't see shit.
And imagine.
Yeah, green's poison.
Empty
for sure.
promises. What do you know of our suffering?
They say that
I just hate the animation.
I am the harbinger of the void. That I am the blade of the Black Empire that...
Retro wave, that's what they used to call it, huh?
There have been many tales told about me. But I'll tell you the truth no one living has heard.
It needs to be the colors of human injury, in my opinion.
Long ago, I was mortal.
Yeah, I don't even want to watch the rest of this. This is terrible. Let's watch the one that Smeg said. What was that one? Let's see. Seems low effort. It really does. Warhammer Mark of Chaos 2006. All right. Let's do that. Warhammer Mark of Chaos. I don't know if I have to put in 2006 or not, but we'll just do that. Ooh, this is going to be good. I just have a feeling. Yeah, bored. Hardcore, man.
It has been a long and bloody year.
Killjoy above over the
since
moon. We'll put that one on
end of the
next.
Great War. While the Emperor has claimed victory, the peace that so many heroes gave their lives for has not settled on the lands. The hordes of chaos, though leaderless, continue to taint the northlands of the Empire.
Oh yeah, red is normally healthy,
Vicious
correct.
warriors attack merchant caravans and raid isolated farms and villages. The Emperor's battle-weary soldiers patrol the forests and hills, ever vigilant against bloodthirsty warbands intent on looting and slaughter.
Dude, next time I'm at the bookstore, I'm gonna look for some Warhammer books. Problem is, I know that some of the new series are probably not gonna be very faithful to the original canon. Star Wars Overwatch cinematic for years. Well, I'll put that one on the next list. Hang on a second. Let's get through this one first. Over 300, yeah, exactly.
For the Empire!
The thing about Warhammer that always blows my mind is that this also has guns and tanks and machines and stuff, but they're all battling with like swords and axes and stuff. Hammers, shields. Yeah, don't associate your game with urine, exactly. Oh, he did. Fucking pronouns. Oh, man. What the hell was that? Oh my god. It's a Balrog. He's gonna detonate, isn't he?
There is no escape from chaos. It marks us all.
Okay, so this is the thing I don't understand, because there's over like 300 books on Warhammer, right? What is the difference between Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer 40K? Like it seems like to me that there's different, like you said, Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer Space. Do they not exist in the same universe, or are they different timelines? Is it like a massive like time jump between them? So I don't understand. This is the thing about Warhammer that's always confused me. One has a K. Oh, thank you. You're so helpful. Okay, so 40K is the sci-fi, the other is fantasy. All right, easy enough. That's easy. Fantasy versus sci-fi. But they're not even in the same universe. That's crazy. Same universe but different time. That's what I would think. You have like 40 hours? No, I don't have 40 hours. It's already midnight here, man. I don't got 40 hours. Blood Bowl, oh my god. All right, so hang on a second. There was one that got put in the list here. Let me see. What was that one? Killjoy by Over the Moon. I have no idea what that is, but we'll take a look at it real quick. So I remember you mentioned it on the last stream, so let's take a look. Oh my god. Now I remember you mentioning this. Okay. Whew.
This is Killjoy, where you are trapped in a world that looks happy, but is actually an evil prison made of lies. The way to escape? Make certain entities cry. That makes a hole in the happiness and reveals pieces of reality.
Have a good night, Cage.
You do that by swearing. But here's the trick. Every entity reacts differently. Hello. Some laugh, some try to cheer you up.
Oh, you're just cranky.
Some can't hear you at all.
Hateful, ugly, vile, awful, vile, filthy, fucking wretched.
So the real gameplay is learning how all these bizarre creatures work. Discovering the chain reactions.
Oh my god.
And using that to break the world open. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that. Nothing to see here. So if you like what you see, make sure you wish list.
Looks
Stay
like The
tuned
Rock.
For more
Or Mr. Clean, yeah. Dude, he just ripped that unicorn in half. Holy shit. Okay. As goofy as it is, this works. I mean, I could definitely see people playing it. Me, not so much, but I could definitely see people playing it. Let me see. You said Star Wars The Old Republic, right? Is it Fate of the Old Republic or just the Old Republic? Because I'm pretty sure I played one of them. Oh, I'm thinking Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars The Old Republic Cinematic. Full movie. We're not watching a full movie. Hell no. 4K Ultra HD Return Cinematic Trailer. 4K Ultra HD Sacrifice. Which one? Angry Man Trapped in a Fake Happy World. I can relate to that, honestly. I can actually kind of relate to that. Not even gonna lie. Everything's fake and gay. Sacrifice? Okay. Sacrifice. This guy right here.
A man can have anything.
if he's willing to sacrifice. With your birth comes a solemn vow. You will have nothing. Your privilege is the dirt.
To be fair, Vernum, that doesn't take much.
In the darkness, only ambition will guide you.
Who is that voice actor? I know that voice.
The oaths you swear, the promises you make, they are yours alone. Your freedom will be the wars you wage.
No, dude, this is really good. I'm not even gonna lie.
The losses you suffer.
Characters in Abomination, the Star Wars lore, but he's badass.
Your entitlement. The pain you endure. And when darkness finds you, you will face it alone.
What happened to his face? Oh, his whole left half of his body. Holy crap. Oh, yeah. I guess he got hurt in that one scene. It's pretty rough, man. What's with your face, man? You think he didn't know? Come on. No! Who killed your brother? Ouch.
Come with me, son.
Dude. When did that game come out? Then they made it all about their girl boss sister. What? That's what you get when playing with Daddy's gun cabinet. Oh my god. Uh, 2015 or 2016, huh? Does make me wish I had played this. Now, dude, for real, I'm feeling the same way. But again, when would I have played it? 2015 or 2016, I can't even remember what I was playing at that point, guys, to be honest. The base game was 2012? Holy crap. Dude, too much time goes by way too quickly. The older I get, the faster time seems to be flying. It's absolutely unreal. The expansion was 2015. Oh, interesting. Huh. Well, yeah, okay, so reality is, unfortunately, based on, I mean, look, we just watched it in all these trailers, right, guys? And the reality is, unfortunately, we're not going to get things that we used to have back. Okay, that we all know that. You can't go back, you can't live in the past, whatever, that's fine. But the problem is, again, going back to this, what we have now isn't even like passably good compared to what we had before. Like, okay, that trailer that we saw, the World of Warcraft trailer that we all thought looked like a freaking mobile game, and this person's like, Blizzard following up the World of Warcraft has become Disneyfied discourse with an animation where their child horrifically disintegrates into ash is a hilarious coincidence, I have to say. And I'm like, I couldn't even get through the trailer because the animation was so bad. This guy, Bellular Gaming, says, hell of a cinematic. For me, Disneyfication isn't about the cinematics, it's how they handle themes in game. Oversimplified with unearned cheese and resolutions that strip the IP of the weight. Cinematics like this grant it. D-Flight suffered, TWW less so, but still very mixed. I don't know, guys. I don't know. She responded and said, the tweet went far, but I stand by what I said. Someone in the replies rightfully pointed out that they're having an aesthetic identity crisis. Disney or cartoonified look or feel isn't new. It's something that's been gradually being built since Draenor. Okay. That's the one you guys said to watch. Okay, we'll leave off with that. Screw Pirate Software. He's not even worth talking about. If you want to get caught up on the whole Pirate Software thing, guys, in fact, I'm just going to do this. I'll drop this in the... This was the video we were going to talk about from Quinn Theo regarding the whole Pirate Software and his involvement of Ashes of Creation. It's just him being a giant freaking baby. But somebody had said Draenor, right? What is that? Draenor Cinematic. Warlords of Draenor. Here we go. So we'll watch this one real quick and then we'll be done. TLDR, Pirate Software tried to hijack the Ashes of Cremation drama. Yeah, essentially what happened was he just decided to be like, well, I was always reporting people for being mean to me and saying mean things and calling me a ferret fucker. And they didn't take it seriously enough and I didn't get enough of their time and I sent them constant reports and they didn't ban the people. And he literally, after the girl, Margaret, what's her face, the gal that was the community manager, even after she had lost her job, he was still complaining about how she wasn't doing enough. And she's like, dude, I've literally lost my job. Like, what more do you want me to do? Yeah, it's just drama. So. Don't know if she used to go with his whining. Yeah, the Streisand effect on the ferret fucker will be glorious for real.
Drink, Hellscream. Claim your destiny. You will all be conquerors.
I'm not feeling this one.
Gul'dan must we give in return?
All right, QC. See you next time, bud.
Everything. And did you bring these mongrels here? Just to watch you die?
I think my biggest problem with trailers like this, especially with games like this, I don't like games where you can play the orcs, because I think orcs need to be permanent bad guy fodder that the good guys just mercilessly massacre in games, you know? Yeah, excellent looking animation, but boring. we're over the 3 hours mark and still no real victim in Ash's creation scam. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's literally like if you want to milk pirate software for drama and for clicks and all that kind of stuff, the video I linked is really good. You should watch it. He's rightfully getting, roasted for his own personality defects and all that stuff, but he just wants to make himself the victim in this situation,
The best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
F you, Dan, for the horde.
Oh man, I love you too, man. I get it. I just I think orcs are supposed to be irredeemably awful, and they should just be mercilessly killed and brutalized in every possible imagination. But to each their own, I guess. Thanks for the 2, buddy. I get it, Avernum, I'm just saying. No, Crag, hell no. No, that was some brilliant leftist journalist who decided to compare orcs to black people. That was not some racist chud that was saying, hey, look at the black people when they saw orcs. That was some journalist that did that. She gonna blow! Kind of wondering why they never made a second World of Warcraft movie. I don't know.
This was not our destiny. Times change.
I mean, yeah, to each their own.
We will never be slaves.
I mean, okay, not being the demographic for something doesn't mean that you won't necessarily still enjoy it. I wasn't the demographic for like K-pop Demon Hunters, like somebody mentioned, and I still thought it was a good movie. No, I'm not gonna sit down and watch it by myself, but whatever. I think I could probably watch a World of Warcraft movie and find it enjoyable as long as the story was told well and it was, well acted and everything else. I don't think it has to be something where you're the primary demographic to still enjoy it. That just comes down to good storytelling, right? Granted, I like the Monster Hunter movie, so my opinion is sus. Yeah, I didn't watch that one, but I've not heard good things about it. Yeah, he's an SJW orc. Exactly.
Conquerors.
Oh, hey, it's Warhammer 40k now. Now we got spaceship orcs, right? No, just kidding. Dude, I have gone this long not knowing the difference between Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer 40k, and it's like, oh, I guess that makes sense now. Suddenly, the world makes sense. I get it now. Okay. The WoW movie was shit. Only because they should have just made it full CGI anime. Was it not? I don't think I ever saw like a trailer for the World of Warcraft movie. That's crazy. Huh. It's not ringing any bells either. That's the crazy part. It's like, when did it come out? How long ago did it come out? There are spaceships in World of Warcraft 2. Damn it. Come on, man. Oh my god, it's just getting worse, man. How are there orcs how are there spaceships in World of Warcraft? That doesn't even make any sense. Granted, I don't know all the ins and outs of World of Warcraft and the universe and everything else, so whatever, fine. It is what it is, whatever. Watching a month ago didn't age well. 2016. Oh, the orcs were CGI. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Huh. Yeah, I don't like things where they heavily mix CGI with real people. Granted, there are sometimes you have to. Like, again, the practical CG effects you can pull off in things that are like sci-fi and all that, that's fine. You got to do with what you got to do, right? But yeah, that's just, I don't know, that's crazy. All right. Reroute is set up. I am going to get some sleep. Kister and I are Magic Tech 50,000-year-old species. Oh. Spaceships and Warcraft. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Orcs were CGI, but not one human orc hybrid girl, and humans were real and stupid. You in the Monster Hunter movie was absolute trash. Yeah, you know, the funny thing is, I liked Mila Jovovich in Resident Evil. Not exactly something where it was like, okay, you know, these are great adaptations of the game, but just enjoyed them as what they were on their own. But looking back now, I can see why people hated the Resident Evil movies. I get it. I still enjoyed them for what they were at the time. The first two Resident Evil movies I really enjoyed. Plus, the gal they got to play Jill Valentine in the second movie was like, okay, teenage boy when that movie came out, maybe early 20s, I was digging it. I was super happy with it, you know, like really happy with it. But I get it. The movies weren't great. They weren't great adaptations. Still, if you watched Mila Jovovich in Fifth Element, especially if you were younger and you were growing up and you're a boy and the hormones are pumping, and you got Mila Jovovich in Fifth Element, then you got her in Resident Evil. It was a time. It was a thing, guys. Yeah, Mila didn't do nothing, exactly. So, Burning Legion had them. Eridar Tech and the Draenei also used one of them named the Exodar to flee out. Dude, this is just too much for me, guys. I can't. I'm gonna get some sleep. I can't deal with any more spaceships and fantasy and stuff. I next time I'm at the bookstore, I will look up, try to find some Warhammer books. I'm gonna look for Warhammer 40,000 though, because I like fantasy shit. The sci-fi stuff is interesting, the Space Marines and all that. That's cool, but I want fantasy stuff, man. All right, guys, thank you all for hanging. I'm redirecting over to Empress. Anybody who wants to hang out while she's playing Kingdom of Amalur, feel free to. Be more than welcome to. My name is King. Hey, in here just at the end, buddy. Just Warhammer, not 40,000. Oh. Well, now I'm even more confused. You got Warhammer 40,000, and you got Warhammer 40K. I'm so confused, man. I'm just going to keep reading my Witcher books. Screw it. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to do the Witcher books, and then I'll maybe pick up something else. I don't know. I can't, guys. I can't. More videos. I will do a video tomorrow night. As long as I find something that speaks to me. Sometimes, you know, guys, even with all the news, sometimes there's just something where I'm just not in the mood to cover it. Hasn't been that way lately, but my God, there are those days where I'm like, nothing's speaking to me, you know? 40,000 and 40K is the same. Plain Warhammer is medieval. Warhammer 50K. I mean, just Warhammer. I thought Warhammer 40,000 and 40K were different. Because some people say Warhammer 40,000 and some people say Warhammer 40K. So I thought they were two different things. Now you're just telling me it's just 40K and 40,000 are the same thing. People are just lazy bastards. I'm so confused. I can't, guys. I just can't. They'd have a lore stream with the Empress. I think I would just sit there listening to her with her Bulgarian accent, explaining all of it in intricate detail about what everything means. And I'm just going to be sitting there like, wait, start over. It just like it would probably just go right over my head. Same, just smaller. Okay. So there's Warhammer and 40K. Got it. That's okay, Oblivion. I can read Fat Thumb. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. You've been awesome, but I am going to go to sleep. No, man, I didn't watch the TPUSA thing. I just turned off the halftime show, man. I don't like Kid Rock. I don't like Bad Bunny. I didn't want to watch either one of them. I don't think Kid Rock, I don't like the guy. So I was like, you know what? I had other things to do. I think the kids put on like a couple of the older performances, and we just did that during the halftime show. So I was asleep. Oh yeah, my team won. It was the most boring win ever, dude. The Seahawks, the Patriots forgot to show up. The Seahawks basically bitch slapped the Patriots quarterback around for 60 minutes. It was embarrassing. It was terrible. So, the commercials were pretty boring. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to sleep now. Appreciate you all. I'm out of here. Clown Bunny. Dude, I can't, the words I would use, I can't say on stream. So, Raider Nation didn't care either. Yeah, completely forgettable. I'm just glad it wasn't the Seahawks' first bowl win because that would have been terrible. Like, what a way to win. Nobody cares. All right, I'm out. See y'all. Have a good night or a good day. Catch you next time.